Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully, you can hear me all good. Just checking if we've got transcoding options. We have. Let's go. How's everybody doing anyway, though, man? Welcome, guys. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, you can like the stream. It's very much appreciated. It helps out a lot as well. And if you're watching on the short stream on mobile, touch and hold the screen. 2 seconds, the like button will appear. You can drop a like on the stream. If you're watching on desktop and you're watching the short stream, I don't know why you're doing that, because it looks ass. Come over to Twitch or come over to YouTube and watch it over there in full HD. It's a lot better. But hopefully everybody's having a good day so far. Got a new video up on the channel as well. Anybody wants to check it out, there's a link at the top of the Twitch chat. I don't have a link up on the YouTube chat. But obviously, if you're on YouTube, you can just go to the channel and see the video. Bit easier. Man, I've got my AC on and it's still freaking warm. Holy cow, dude. Holy cow. Looks stuffy today, man. Slept like crap last night as well. It was so hot last night. Rough, boys, rough. What games you lot been playing anyway at the minute? What you go to, man? What you go to? Let me just change something here as well. So we're gonna watch a couple of videos and then we're gonna jump into some games. Probably do our dailies in Wuthering and then hop on to Zenless potentially. I think later or tomorrow we're gonna switch it up and play something different. I don't know what we're gonna play. I don't know whether we're gonna check out Honkai Impact 3rd, play some PGR, or do some new world. I'm feeling something different. We're gonna obviously log into WuWa to get my dailies because, you know, FOMO. But yeah, try some different stuff this week. Feeling it, you know. The variety itch needs a scratching. It needs a scratching. And let me just get OBS up as well, so let me hop on. You guys can actually see what the hell's going on. And if I find some good game soundtracks that are not going to get me hit with copyright claims, and they're actually decent. I've been listening to like the Zenless one on stream recently, which is actually a banging soundtrack, actually. I want to switch it up. I want something different. Let's get rid of that. Okay. We can hop on over. Oh my god, it's warm, dude. It is freaking warm. What the fuck? Alright, check out some videos, shall we? And then we're going to get into the game, because we're already late. Got live at like 1. Which is far too late, in all honesty.
Alright, I know a lot of you guys have been waiting.
Why does YouTube refuse to pause the video sometimes? Do you know what I mean? Does that happen for anybody else? It's like I have to click it like 3 or 4 times, and then go down to the bottom and actually click the pause icon. I don't know fucking why, man. Trolling me. Alright, let's do it then. I got the sniffles as well. I'm not very well at the minute. I don't know what it is. I've just, like, yesterday, I told people I had the hot, spicy diarrhea. You know, TMI, sorry. I do apologise. And just today, man, I've just been feeling like crap. Still went to the gym yesterday, went today again, but it's just like, bro, it was a hard session, man. It was rough. Felt it today. Sweating my tits off as well. It didn't help that I didn't sleep very well last night because obviously it's been quite warm in the UK. I didn't have the AC on upstairs either last night. Just had the windows open. Woo! Wasn't nice. But yeah, we should get to watching some videos then, and then we'll get some games on the go. Yeah, shall we? Let's do it then. All right then, let's check this out. Project Leet's launch has gone even worse than I expected. Now, I did play the playtest or the beta or whatever it was of this game, and it wasn't terrible. I can't remember the guys who worked on this game now, but he's infamous in the gaming space. I think, was it like Warzy or Infestation Z or something like that, and Shattered Skies, and these games were all like kind of crap launches, and then they just got dropped pretty much within the first year. It's kind of their MO to launch a game, have multiple tier prices, and then just drop the game. And there was another pricing system with this game on their website, and it looked very eerily similar to the previous games, which wasn't a good look. This game would have been fine if it was free to play, but it's launching at £30 UK. I don't know how much it is in America, which to me is just far too much, especially with all the history. People are just not going to risk it. But the game wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Let's see what Big Fry's got to say about it, though, shall we? And let's see how bad the launch actually is going.
All right, I know a lot of you guys have been waiting to hear my thoughts on Project Elite. Yes,
I am interested, Fry. I am interested, yes.
Played it. The game is currently sitting at mostly negative reviews after...
That's not surprising.
At the current time of recording, it's 3 days after launch with an all-time peak.
I did hear, sorry for keep pausing, I did hear as well the game launched like 4 hours later than what it was supposed to, which I know happens, you know, things happen on game launch days, and it's not surprising. It's a common thing nowadays. But it's not a great look, is it? Especially with the history of the people working on the game as well. So, yeah.
Peak of 185 players with, at the time of recording, about 68 players playing.
185 player peak. Damn, what a launch. What a launch.
The game, by all intents and purposes, is dead as fuck by every metric. And this video is going to tell you exactly why. My name is Big Ry. Leave a like on the video, subscribe for more content just like this. And if you don't know Project Elite, it is a hardcore first-person tactical extraction shooter that I covered earlier this year when the first announcement trailers came.
I wouldn't really call it a hardcore tactical extraction shooter. I'd call it a semi-hardcore arcade extraction shooter, really. It got a very much arcade feel to it, which is not a bad thing. I'm not using that as a negative. But I wouldn't call it a tactical extraction shooter. But I guess, you know, that's just a viewpoint. It could be argued that it is in terms of the gameplay, but it just definitely didn't feel it to me. I've just noticed as Fry got no rounds in his gun at all. It's not a good time.
Came out, in which I made a lot of connections and did some digging and figured out some things. Figured out connections from their developer, HomeGuard Games, with Sergei Titov, known...
That's the name, Sergei Titov. If I remember correctly, it was, he's not working with the game. He's not developing the game. He's not on the team at all. But then the people who were investing in the game just so happened that Sergei was on that company that was investing in the game. So indirectly, he was involved.
Internet scammer. I'm trying to think of all the games that he has released and then subsequently left and abandoned and pulled off and just disappeared into the night with people's money. There's so many at this point.
Warzy, that was
There's a review here that details every single one of them. The Warzy Infestation Survivor.
Okay, so this is all the games. Holy cow. And all of these pretty much got abandoned. I remember playing Shattered Skies. That game was pretty poor. And it never got better, and it was quickly abandoned as well. I can't remember how I got access to that. I don't know if I got sent a key or something like that, but I believe that was another one of the ones that had multiple tiered versions of the game, which I don't have a problem with. But when you have this sort of a history, it becomes a bit of a problem then.
Stories, Infestation, The New Z, Romero's Aftermath. How could I forget Romero's Aftermath? Shattered Skies, Burst Fire, Last Man Standing, Wild West Online, Outbreak, New Dawn, and...
Burst Fire, brackets, Rainbow Six Siege. Was that what it was attempting to be? Oh my god.
I actually think there's more than that, but those are all the ones that I think I've covered on this channel. I've been following this guy for a long time, and earlier this year I made connections to the fact that HomeGuard Games is being funded by the Games Fund, a VC company that is founded by Sergei Titov. HomeGuard Games...
Okay, so he wasn't just involved. He founded the company that was running the investment for the game. But he's not involved. He's not involved. He's only involved in funding the game, but he's not involved. He's definitely not involved. So, you know, totally not involved with the game. So you can't go on all these previous games that he was involved in. He's not involved, guys. He's just the founder of the company that's investing in the game, but he's not involved. Totally not involved.
Actually had Sergei's wife hired at the beginning of the studio's
And he's definitely not involved, guys. His wife might be a VFX technical artist, and he's the CEO or the founder of the investment firm, but he's not involved, guys.
Exception, and they hired a bunch of their former staff from Arctos Entertainment and other companies. When I made the video earlier this year, it was then subsequently taken down via false DMCA claim, much like Sergey has done in the past when I covered Shattered Skies. We went through many a discussion and emails in which I kept you guys into the loop with everything, to which I then discovered that the emails were coming from Sergey's old company, even though they were denying the fact that Sergey was even involved in the...
He's definitely not involved. Definitely not involved. Holy cow, dude. This is so shady. So shady. Like, to do all that roundabout to try and take the videos down. It's... I guess, though, like I said, it seems to be the MO. It's not surprising.
First place.
It's not
surprising.
It was a
complete clusterfuck of a situation, but now the game is on Steam, and we can see it all in its glorious self, and we can understand that it's exactly what I said it was going to be, a half-cooked, half-baked project that's going to take years to get it to the point where it could even compete with games that are coming out now, who have then, on top of that, subsequently priced themselves out of the same market that they're trying to grasp.
This is the biggest problem with the game. Like, as I said, I played the game. I actually had a little bit of fun with it while I was playing. The game's got issues. The game has got issues, and it's got quality issues, that's for sure. But it's not bad. As I said, it's not a great game. It's not really a good game, but it's not bad. If it had come out free to play, into early access, free to play, and they'd got a roadmap, and they'd had a store with some transactions in, I think I wouldn't have had an issue with the game at all. And I definitely would have been streaming it and playing it, because when I did play the beta, I enjoyed myself. I did have fun with it. And I think a lot of people would have hopped on to play the game, and it maybe might not have been successful, but I think it would have had a core audience that would have been playing it and potentially streaming it. But going in with the multi-tiered prices for the launch, it's just in a space as well where a lot of the other competitors coming out at free to play as well. It's just, I think just doing that anyway, coming in as a premium price in a free-to-play space, you're always going to struggle. And if you do that, you have got to be head and shoulders above the rest, haven't you? You've just got to be far superior in what you're offering if you're going to charge people for the enjoyment of playing your game when everybody else pretty much in the space is doing it for free.
Let's talk about the game itself.
And have established
the game in the world. If you were to jump into Project Elite right now, you could see that I have covered games on this channel that are a lot worse. Like, I'm talking like bottom of the barrel. I just booted up Unity for the first time and put a fucking game on Steam for $100 type games. Project Elite is not that. It is not a great game, but it is not the worst game that I've covered on this.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Channel. If you were to pick it up, I think most gamers could find some positive qualities here. Hell, even after...
It definitely does have some positive qualities. Like, the gunplay is not great, but it's serviceable. It can be quite fun. As I said, it's a bit more on the arcade side of things. It's got a firing range and stuff like that, which, you know, even that in itself is kind of a big win in these sort of games. The UI system's not great. It's got quests already in the game. The map's not terrible. I really don't like the anomalies, and visually it's a bit muddy, but it's not bad either. It's serviceable from a visual standpoint, but it's quite muddy. It's got that sort of that typical look from these guys. But it's not bad visually either as well. It's just not great.
Everything that happened to me earlier this year and the back and forth that we had with the developers, I can even find some positives. And you know, another game that I think you could pick up and find some positives with is today's sponsor. If you're a fan of epic vehicle combat, you need to check out War Thunder, the most
awesome game. I love this game. Haven't played it in ages. I love this game though. It's so much fun. Another great free-to-play game. Insane amount of vehicles as well, but it's just a lot of fun, this game is.
Comprehensive combat game out there, and it's totally free on PC and consoles. Take control of over 2,500 meticulously detailed tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations. From the biplanes and the armored cars of the 1920s to the cutting-edge fighter jets and main battle tanks of today, War Thunder has it all.
Never really did much of the the dogfighting, the air stuff. I just used to love playing the tank battles. Just so much fun.
Ready to dive into intense, realistic combat. The graphics are stunning, the sound effects are spot on, and every vehicle is modeled down to the last detail.
Dude, the damage system in this game, and I'm paused. We're not even talking about the actual subject of the video here, but I love War Thunder. The damage mechanics in the game as well are just absolutely brilliant. The way you take out the tank crews and vital parts of the tanks, and you get the little 3D animation of where your shells hit and broke apart in the tank. It's as somebody who loves that sort of stuff, it's really cool.
Engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and crew all react to damage just like in real life. Plus, the X-ray view shows you exactly how your shots take down your enemies. War Thunder caters to every type of player with 3 distinct game modes. You have arcade mode for fast-paced action, realistic mode for that perfect balance of intensity and authenticity, and then you have simulator mode for that ultimate challenge. So no matter your style, there is something for you. The game also features some...
I'm going to have to hop back on this game again soon. I was just talking about I want to switch up some games this week. We might have to have a little bit of a dabble back on War Thunder again.
Pretty in-depth customization options where you can personalize your vehicle with a wide range of camouflages, historical markings, and even community-created decorations. It really lets you make each vehicle your own and stand out on the battlefield. Join a global community of over 70 million players in thrilling PvP battles. War Thunder is packed with high-quality content that's perfect for military history enthusiasts. Play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox now by using my link in the pinned comment or the video description. New and
I think if you're a military vehicle nerd,
will also get a massive bonus pack, including premium vehicles, the exclusive Eagle of Valor decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account status. But this offer is only for a limited time. Dive into the action and experience the ultimate vehicle.
I was so ass at flying the planes.
Vehicle combat game today with War Thunder. Some of the features in this game are pretty streamlined. The character customization, the inventory system itself, the fact that when you get into the world, there are maps with detailed areas that show different bosses and different objectives that you can clearly see where the extract.
And it seems like there's plenty of loot around. A lot of it seems to be just kind of filler loot. But one thing I did like about that, because I played this right off the back of playing Grey Zone, and I love that game. I haven't played it for a while, but that was one of the big things that was missing in that was a lot of ground loot. And this game had it, which was a big pro for me, because when I'm playing these sort of games, I want lots of things to find, to sift through, to take back, to extract, things to, you know, oh, this is better than what I had kind of thing. And Grey Zone kind of lacked that, and this definitely has that.
Extraction and the timers for those extractions are. It is a streamlined experience, much better than a lot of other extraction shooters that I have played. Project Elite is going to be a game because of the price tag. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but because of that price tag, they have put themselves in the same market as games like Escape from Tarkov, Grey Zone Warfare, and Arena Breakout Infinite. When you're comparing Project Elite in every aspect to all of those games, it does nothing better, maybe outside of beating Grey Zone Warfare on performance, but it's because Grey Zone Warfare actually looks like an Unreal Engine 5 game.
It falls short against all of those games, and then they are, you've got Tarkov and Grey Zone as premium games, but Arena's going to be free. You know, it's just... I've said this before, you either need to be first, you need to be better, or you need to be cheaper. And it's definitely not first. It's definitely not cheaper at the moment for what it is. Well, some of the versions of the game anyway. And it's definitely not better either. As I said, it does fall short in probably majority of the categories. There's probably some quality of life things that make it a little bit better in certain areas than some of the other games. But really not much.
Game, whereas Project Elite looks like it came out about 6 years ago.
Yeah, it does look aged.
I'm not mad at the visuals. Don't take that as a shot. It does look a little bit dated, but that does lend itself to actually having much better and more
Dude, some of the AI is cracked in the game as well.
Consistent performance than a game like Grey Zone Warfare.
Yeah, agreed. To be fair, I never really had many performance issues with Grey Zone Warfare. There was just a weird thing that seemed to happen where OBS would look like OBS was chugging, even though the game looked fine on my end. It was kind of weird. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know what it was. I'm not technical enough to know that, but it just looked weird on OBS, but looked fine for me. But this game ran fine. That's one thing, one of the compliments I had about it when I played the test. The game ran brilliantly. I think I didn't drop below 90 FPS at all. It usually sat above 100 FPS, which I do run on a 4090 and a 3900K, so that's to be expected. But again, the game does kind of look aged, so you would hope a game that's kind of got that look to it would run good. But, you know, still can't knock it. The game ran great.
Art style and the world building itself reminds me a lot of if you were to take like an Escape from Tarkov, mix it with Arena Breakout, and then mix it with, again, another one of Sergey's games that he made in the past, Shattered Skies. It's got that like...
Yeah, it's got that. That's exactly what I was trying to think of. It's got that old school to Sergey kind of look to it, like the previous games, really. You know, it looks very reminiscent of those games.
Alien, kind of broken down, almost like a Shatterline-esque vibe kind of sprinkled throughout this world. So there's some supernatural elements to the game as well. And again, the UI and the UX, I think, is very good for an indie game like this. I've played a lot of games where navigating menus and inventory systems is fucking terrible. If you were to take this game and compare it to
definitely serviceable, definitely serviceable,
which I think it took a lot of bullying and a lot of bagging, but Dead Matter has lowered their price, I think, to around $20 on Steam.
Dude, is that game still being sold? Like, is anybody even playing that game? Like, I was so disappointed with this game, and I was a supporter of the game. I actually put money towards the development. I got access to, like, super early versions, and oh my god, the game was just absolutely ass, and it was ass when it came out, and I probably should have a look at some recent gameplay to see if it's actually improved somewhat. I think that was going to be a game that was just going to get dropped, though. It had all the hallmarks of that was going to happen.
When it came out, it was like $49. So comparing this game just on all aspects to a
so
game
much
like
potential
Dead Matter,
as well.
I mean, Project Lead blows it out of the water. That being said, the bar for Dead Matter is in the fucking ground. You could walk over it and still be higher than a Dead Matter. So I don't look at that as like a win. It's like, it's just not the...
I think it's an unfair comparison, personally. I think this game is in a much better state than Dead Matter. It's far superior in pretty much every way. They're different games. That's a zombie survival game, which I suppose you can maybe make some comparisons. The fact this is an extraction shooter. But I think it's an unfair comparison because Dead Matter was absolutely fucking diabolically bad. It had so much potential as well. But this is a serviceable, working game that's not terrible at all. So I think that's an unfair comparison, personally.
The worst thing in the world. What I don't like about Project Lead is the fact that they are touting themselves as a hardcore first-person extraction shooter. In terms of the extraction shooters that play in this like hardcore arena, you know, again, Arena Breakout, Gray Zone, and Tarkov are much more hardcore in every sense of the word.
This is a lot more arcadey. That's why I said this idea that it's hardcore tactical extraction shooter. It's a, I guess, somewhat hardcore, semi-casual arcade extraction shooter, in my opinion. I think that definitely suits it a little bit better. It's a little bit more convoluted, but I think it definitely suits it a little bit more better as a descriptive term.
From, you know, immersive HUD elements to time to kill to the medical systems, like there's nothing that Project Lead does that puts it in the hardcore realm. There's a HUD that shows your ammo counter on screen. You put healing onto your hotbar and you just tap it and there's...
I think nowadays, when it comes to games, if you die quick and it's like one life only per round, whatever the genre is, it's just class. Oh, that's it. It's hardcore. Where to me, it's probably not necessarily hardcore. It's more just brutal, unforgiving would probably be the better term for it, really.
There's a bar that fills up and you heal. Like there's no animations. There's no in-depth medical
You'd have some
system.
good,
there's
fun
no
gunfights
like
in this game, though.
You just heal. There's nothing that this game does that's hardcore. Here's the thing. I don't need the game to be a hardcore shooter, but when you tout yourself as a hardcore shooter and you have all of these very casualized mechanics, it's a little strange. What I don't like about the casualized experience that you get from Project Lead,
I believe as well, they'd be better not to advertise it as that. Because let's face it, we've got Grey Zone, we've got Tarkov, we've got Arena Breakout. Now, I know Tarkov is probably the ultimate version of like the hardcore in terms of just the complexity of the game and the time it takes to just learn even quite simple things in the game, let alone the rest of the game. I'm not somebody who played a massive amount of Tarkov, but I just feel like you're always learning in that game. There's just so much to take in. It's almost overwhelming. Grey Zone, that has a lot to learn, but still, mechanically, things like different, the way the bullets work and all that sort of stuff is just definitely simplified just a little bit more. And then you've probably got another step down, Arena Breakout, which still has a lot of those elements to it, but would be closer towards the arcade level, but I still think that is quite a hardcore game. I really like Arena as well. Yeah, and this is not that. And I think you don't necessarily need to advertise yourself as actually, you're going into a market there where there's already games that have got a base, and one's going to be free as well. And you're coming in and you're not doing anything better than all of those, and you are more arcadey. So why not advertise yourself as that? I feel like, because there's plenty of people who want to play extraction shooters, but want to play a little bit more of an arcade version of an extraction shooter, you know? I think that's why I think, what is it, Delta Force, whatever it's called, the Black Hawk Ops, whatever it's called, that's going to have an extraction shooter mode, and that looks kind of like, almost like if Battlefield had an extraction shooter mode. Now, if they advertise that as more of a casual, arcade-friendly kind of game mode, I think they'll attract a lot of people. There's a lot of people who want to play extraction shooters, but don't want to get into the steep learning curve that you've got in Tarkov.
Elite is the actual gunplay itself. Recoil patterns and actual like weapon feel is it's just not it. You're shooting at guys, your weapons feel just weak as shit. The recoil,
they do feel weak. I don't think it feels terrible though. It just feels a bit stiff and yeah, not it really. It's a good way to say.
Almost non-existent. Guns are laser beams, but then it's combined with a pretty long time to kill. And there were some combats where it felt like I was playing Call of Duty. Again, not a bad thing, but not what you're selling to the people when you call yourself a hardcore tactical shooter, and you're just not that. When you discuss Project Elite, the biggest thing that you have to talk about is their AI. Because the player base is so low and almost non-existent, you are going to be coming up against a lot of AI, and that...
It is a shame though, that is. But obviously, I think it's because they've gone for the premium model. Because in the actual beta, there were plenty of people playing, because you get into a lobby, and within 30 seconds, sometimes you'd be in a gunfight. Quite a lot of the games, I had multiple gunfights. I think even in one game, I think I cleared out like majority of the lobby. I think I killed like 7 or 8 people all around the gas station. It was really fun. It was like going off. It was like finish a gunfight straight into another one, fighting 2 dudes at the same time. And every game was pretty much like that. So yeah, it's a shame that you're going to be going into it now and just, well, I wouldn't go into it as of now. I think this should go free to play. I think if they're sensible, they'll go free to play and add some cool microtransactions. And the game could have a decent little audience that could potentially be a profitable thing for them. But launching how they've launched now, it's like, are they going to be able to claw that back? I just don't know.
That is essentially what you're going to be doing in this game if it doesn't pop off and if it doesn't grow from here, which I don't think it will. It obviously could, but their AI in the game is I mean, it's something. Just watching this interaction here, these guys are just running down the road. They run, they snap to you, they run a little bit, they snap to you. It's your basic indie AI that a lot of games do.
Sometimes they're insanely cracked though. They're just laser beams. And then again, as he sells there, sometimes they're just dense.
But what I do find weird about Project Elite is the way that these AI get triggered and how they come into these points of interest. So in this clip here, I'm in this building, and what you'll notice is AI just continually run towards me into the building and are always engaged in combat. I walked into the building, I killed a couple AI, and it just feels like they nonstop rush the building, and it almost feels like they're spawning from nowhere and then just trying to engage with me until I get out of the area.
So is this post-launch then? Maybe something's changed? Because I don't know. I did have some aggressive AI, but I never felt like that was happening when I played it before. So maybe that's to counteract low player numbers and want to keep a constant run of AI coming at people, but maybe they've turned the dial up a little bit too much potentially. Because I definitely didn't notice that so much when I played the beta. It felt like I'd kill a couple of AI. I might have another one pop up out of nowhere kind of thing, and then I'd kill him, and then I didn't be engaging with the player. Usually, there was some higher areas where it felt like there was a little bit more presence, but they didn't feel like they were just coming in from nowhere, so maybe that's something that's happened since the launch of the game.
Aspect of the game just makes it feel really fucking cheap. And the thing is the way that these maps are designed and laid out, a lot of these points of interest have these AI engagements within them, which means you are going to be running into this everywhere you fucking go. And honestly, it's like that tedious feeling cheap, where it feels like even if you take out an entire compound of guys, they're just going to be coming back. And to me, that is a sign of like a more casualized shooter, and I'm just not a fan of it. On top of the fact that Project Elite is third.
I don't even necessarily, well, I think it is a casualized thing, but I think it's more just kind of a bad design for a game that's supposed to be based around PvP. Of course, I get it. There's not many players, so the PvP is going to be lesser, but it is designed to be like that. So I don't know if that's something that's been turned up after the launch, seeing the numbers or what, but yeah, it's not a good feel for the game, is it really? Like, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be playing these sort of games PvE really, unless the AI is done really well, which obviously not the situation here. So yeah, it just sucks, these sort of games, when they do end up being dead, because it's just, there's literally no point in playing them, obviously. That's why I think if they go free to play really quickly, maybe they can claw back a bit of player base. I'll go and play it if it goes free. I will go and play it, and I'll stream it, and I'll probably have fun with it as well. And hey, if I get enough time into the game, I'd happily buy some microtransactions as well.
$30 fucking on Steam, which is, I think, the biggest tragedy for a game like this. I think if Project Elite actually came out the gate at a $15, maybe even a $10 price tag, they could gather a pretty large audience of people who would just be like, maybe it's $10, let me try it. And then I think they would actually find some solid qualities there. But they price themselves out of their own fucking market. Arena Breakout Infinite is right around the corner, and it's coming out for free. And it's coming out with better content, and it's coming out with more content, and it's coming out with a style and an aesthetic that a lot of people are looking for, that Tarkov alternative, that
Tarkov light alternative, and a feel that a lot of people have already got, like, you know, they've got the feel for it, and a lot of people have enjoyed it. You know, there's definitely some people that, you know, it's not their vibe, and I totally get that. But there's a lot of people who quite like Arena, so I think if you're going to try and get out the gate before them, yeah, you've got to be way better than them. Or like I said again, you've got to be free, man. I think even at $10, like, because that'll be probably still be £10 in the UK, which is not a lot of money, you know, but still, for a game that you don't know what's going to happen, do you know if it's going to continue to be serviced 12 months down the line, which I know 12 months down the line, if you've paid £10 for, it's not a big deal. You've got a lot of time out of it, but I just think games like this, I know a lot of people, we were talking in the First Ascendant video, the freemium situation, some people just want box prices for games, and I get it, but these sort of games for me, they're just designed to be free, and I think it's totally fine. Have a free game, have a battle pass, have a bunch of microtransactions, skins, character skins, death effects, all that sort of stuff, and I think that's a totally fine, well-designed model for this sort of game, and I think it's the best model for this sort of game as well.
Gives that medical system, that in-depth, but also has streamlined, casualized features that blend well, and I think Project Elite, missed the mark on that combination and that blend, and then $30 on top of it. They price themselves out of their own market. I think a lot of people are just waiting for Arena Breakout Infinite at this point, and they're not even looking over the fence at Project Elite. I mean, looking at their player numbers, I mean, we could call this Project Bleak, guys. It is not looking good. And again, this is my opinion. This entire video is my opinion, Sergey Titov. Don't fucking sue me. I think this game dies, and I mean, and keep in mind, I think it's already dead, but I think the game actually shuts down within a year. And that's not because
I potentially think that's going to happen as well if it doesn't go free to play. I think what'll probably happen, I think the game will go free to play eventually, but it'll be far too late. A lot of the team will probably moved on to other things by then, so it won't be getting the updates and the servicing that it's going to require. And it'll be 6 months down the line, they'll decide to go free to play. It'll be just too late. Arena Breakout, things like that will be in full swing. There'll be new games out, potentially that Delta Force game will be out. People will just be on to new, bigger and better things, I guess, and free to play things. And it just, a few people will probably come back and try it out because it's free, and maybe they'll have a little downtime on their other games, but it just won't pick up. And the people that do decide to start playing it probably won't get satisfaction from it because, as I said again, it probably won't get the service that it requires then as well. And then I wouldn't be surprised if 6 months after that, you know, we do see an end of service for it as well. But obviously, don't know. They might turn it around, and I hope they do. I do, because at the end of the day, it's always good to get extra games, isn't it? But yeah, it's not looking good.
Because that's what Sergey Titov always fucking does. I'm trying to take that out of the equation. I actually think a studio can't sustain itself on releasing a game in this state with this amount of low player base. I don't think they survive. And the thing is I'm just sitting here thinking dude, I actually don't give a fuck if this game shuts down or not. Not a lot of people, from what I can see, purchased the game. They didn't back it during the beta. They might make out with like $100,000 if there were some packages on their store that were paid. Based on the Steam numbers, they didn't do very well at all. If you were to take what VG Insights is saying, I think they said it's around 2,400 people own the game. If you were to take that at $30, 72 grand, Steam's gonna probably take their 30%. They didn't do very well at all. I think this was a failure by all metric, because the game is multiplayer only. You have to have a player base of people that are playing it. Otherwise, you're just jumping in and playing against really shitty AI, which might be fun for some people, but it's not for me. But see, here's the thing. This is where the human side of me comes in a little bit, because, I mean, even taking Sergey Titov and that entire situation out of the equation completely, these guys are in early access, right? They say that they're going to be in there for 12 to 24 months. We will extend early access if needed to deliver the best 1.0 version of the game possible. If you take this at face...
This is the gas station where I was talking about, where we had like some insane gunfight. It seemed to always go down here in the beta. It's a shame that it just looks like he's fighting AI here, because it was kind of lit in this area, man. It was fun.
Value. They have a lot of things that they're planning to add to the game, including skill systems, expanded social hub functions, you know, personal hideouts, clans, faction gameplay, boss hunts, seasons, new map, just a bunch of shit, right? The current state of early access has one map, a medium-sized map suitable for 5 to 20 players.
Oh, okay. So they only launched you one map as well. Okay. That's interesting. I think they should have definitely tried to at least launch you 2. Yeah. Because it's not a big map, and the way the game's designed, you're gonna learn that map pretty freaking fast. So I think it's gonna become quite repetitive and boring quite quickly. So for the people that are playing it, are probably gonna get you know burnt out pretty quickly.
Hundreds of character cosmetics and customization items, several dozen weapons that you can customize as well, with a bunch of attachments. They say they have hundreds of attachments, dozens of paint patterns, just a bunch. Again, a bunch of shit. This game, if it wasn't for what happened earlier this year, I still think would be a mediocre experience that I think has potential. Seeing how the developers responded to my original videos about it, you know, the threats of like potential lawsuits and false DMCA claims and all that other bullshit, like it's tough for me not to look at this and weigh all of that into the equation. There's something up here. Now, if they actually...
Never a good move when developers do that, is it really? You know, start trying to throw their weight around via legal threats and DMCA takedowns. It's just never a good look, rather than them maybe, if they genuinely believe they can turn it around, or at least attempt in good faith to, you know? Because, like, at the end of the day, I feel bad for them that the game is not doing great, because, you know, it's going to mean... people who work for them are going to be struggling, or even let go, or the people who are trying to fund the game or whatever are going to be losing out. You know, if in good faith they attempted to just continue to build on the game, there's nothing you can say against them then. Hey, didn't work out, but they tried. But yeah, it's not good when developers start doing that sort of stuff, man, at all. It's, you know, it really is abusing the systems that YouTube give for a reason. And just because somebody says negative things about the thing you have created, if it's fair, like, you know, it's like, come on.
Get their shit together and continually develop this game for the people who paid for it. I'll give them props. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Do I think they're going to shut down and or just pull the game and or abandon it? Yeah. Any one of those things is most likely going.
Well, even if they don't want to, I think they'll be inevitably forced to do so, won't they? Unless they are willing to just keep throwing money, good money after bad. Because keeping the servers up is going to cost them. You know, if they're bringing no players in, it's just they're going to have to employ people to keep the game at least in a working state, I would imagine. I know that could be probably done on a skeleton crew, but it's still going to be something that's just going to be a black hole for them. And inevitably, even if they don't want to, and it's not something they plan to do, they're going to be forced to do so, aren't they?
Going to happen. Whether they shut it down because of the low player numbers, whether they abandon it altogether, just like Sergey Titov's done in the past, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. What I do know is the future of this game is not looking very bright as of where we're sitting right now. And like, here's the thing. Usually I feel kind of bad when games like this come out. You can see that maybe there's some potential there, but like, the studio kind of squandered any goodwill they had with me, so I just don't care. But until that,
you can't expect him to after how they've been with him.
That time comes where the game is in a better state and these developers are showing that they're willing to actually put the effort in to take this game to the finish line, I would suggest just holding back, watching from the sidelines, and seeing what happens. But here's where the narrative is always going to shift. If you don't support them now, they won't get to the finish line. If you don't buy the game, they can't continue development because the player numbers are low. It's not my fucking problem. This is
such an argument of bad faith, that is. It's not up to the player to prop up a game that's not giving them what they need to want to spend on a game. You know, this is exactly why I said if they've gone free to play, I understand it's a lot easier for large companies with a lot of investment to do the free-to-play model, because inevitably, I guess at the start, you're going to be losing. But if you create a good game, you know, what is it? If you build it, they will come. You create a good game with good systems and good gameplay loops, and then have a cash shop in the game that's fair, that's going to encourage people to want to spend, throw a battle pass in there, have some cool looking stuff that's took a bit of effort to make, you're probably going to do a lot better than you ever would on trying to be premium in this space anyway. In this space. Different thing with single player stuff, but in this space, yeah, you're struggling, man.
Where we're at, Project Bleak is now available on Steam, and from the start of this video, it had about 90 players playing, and at the end of recording this commentary, it's down to 36 on the day. We are looking at damn near single-digit numbers, ladies and gentlemen, and it has been 3 days since.
All right, let's have a look. I'm curious. It's not looking good either, is it? It's still not looking good. 44 people playing right now. 88 over the 24-hour peak. All-time peak was 185. So 5 days after launch, you're getting 44 players playing. And I think, is it like 12 to 15 people in a lobby? So you've got 3 lobbies worth of players playing right now. It's not good. It's not good for a PvP-orientated game either, you know? Again, I said this when we did the beta, though, when we played the beta. In my opinion, the game's not bad. It's not great, but it's just not bad. It's you know, free-to-play game. It's fun. I definitely think it would have itself an audience. I think these numbers would be looking at more like in the few thousands, and potentially at least maybe over 1,000 people playing right now because it's just come out. But yeah, I think going into the freemium model and then also having multiple versions that you could buy, I believe that was the case anyway that they were showing off. I don't know if they're still launched in that case. They might have just gone down to the one purchase, the one price. It just wasn't going to happen, man. You know, in this space now that's super competitive for games that are doing things so much better, and then you've got free-to-play versions coming out. You know what I mean? Again, you got to be first, you got to be better, you got to be cheaper, and this game's neither of those, so it's always going to struggle, wasn't he?
Launch. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for clicking on it and watching through to the end. And a big shout out to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. Keep in mind, if you guys use my link down below,
great game,
you get access to
great
7
game.
days of
Definitely suggest that if you haven't checked out the game, go check it out. Go use Big Fry's link because the game's a lot of fun, man.
As well as the
a lot of fun.
Valor.
This is a free-to-play game that smashes
vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and a bunch more. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, good video, good video. Risky. I don't even know if I'll ever will actually upload this video. Big Fry's a lot bigger of a channel than me, and you know these guys can be a little bit aggressive in regards to threatening channels and DMCA's and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, I agree with pretty much everything he said in the game. I think it was just a little bit unfair to compare this game to Dead Matter because that game is absolute trash, and I don't think this game is trash. It's just not good enough to require a £30 payment to get on the game, when I think it would have just been better going in free, have a battle pass, have microtransactions, and really give you something to want to spend on the game. And I genuinely think it would have had some sort of success. I don't know how large that would have been and how long it would have lasted. I think it would have done all right. But yeah, this market's too competitive, and with Arena Breakout on the corner, around the corner, should I say, you're going to really struggle to come out at that sort of price and do well, especially with the history around the people who've worked on the game and them still being involved, even though they say they're not, they really are. You yeah, it's not a good look for the future of the game, which obviously it's always a shame as a gamer. I like to see games come out and to be good, man. So yeah, sucks. Yeah, good video from Big Fry. You should definitely check him out. Go drop him a love. Drop him a love. Drop him a like and subscribe even. Yo, what's going on, Neil? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Remember when game companies took risks and made something all on their own with no help from customers? Exactly right. Yeah, this idea that, you know, we should be there to support something that's, you know, not really worth supporting. It's a shame as well, because like I said, I did play the game and it was kind of fun, man. It was kind of fun. Give me a second though, boys. I'll be back in a minute. I gotta go for a hot, spicy caca-poo-poo. I'm still not feeling very well. And me needs a caca-poo-poo. So I'll be back in a second, alright? Oh, I'm back. I'm back. I finally leveled Shiana, guns up, got a decent Inferno Rider for a 2. I think he's at like 26.6 crit damage and has decent attack damage. Nice, nice. I love her personality too. She's going to end up being a main for me. It's morphing time. It sucks to be you, and pew 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 had me sold from the start. She's a good character. I do like her as well, actually. I need to level up some of my ranged characters, actually. Talking about how I hate the Juhei fight. I think having a ranged character would definitely be beneficial for that fight. It's funny because some of these reaction videos I've been doing, it shows how many people just read a title. Don't watch a video. Talking about the First Descendant, the overrated video. Is it overrated? You know, obviously that was titled that because I was reacting to the video of it being overrated. And not really once in that video was it stated that it was overrated, and it I say it either. But the amount of people are like, it's not overrated. It's not overrated. It's just come out. It's like, how can you say it's overrated? It's like, no one said it was, man. Give me a second, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do like her. I do like her. She's fun. Yo. All right, shall we check out a video? Shall we check out a video? Shall we? Shall we? And then we'll get some games. All right then, let's check this one out from Gamba AJ. Wuthering Waves. This is a problem. 4-star issue. Okay, before we get into it, I'm just going to say the game needs more 4 stars. I was speaking about this yesterday, and pretty much nearly every time we're talking about characters coming out in Wuthering Waves. And not only do we need more 4 stars in the game, we also need some proper support characters and some healing, sustain characters as well, or at least somebody to compete with Arena. I don't know if this is what he's going to be talking about in that regards, but I definitely think we need more 4-star characters. So let's check out this video then. Go show Gamba some love. He makes some good videos. Let's see what he's got to say.
Oh, YouTube, what is going on? Back at it with another video. And in today's video, I have something different for you guys. Normally, I do not do reaction videos, but this is not a typical reaction video, guys, as I do...
Are we reacting to somebody reacting to somebody? Okay, my favorite kind of video.
Encourage you guys to watch this full video, as this video is called The 4-Star Situation is Bad, Santontas. And I want to give my insight on the whole 4-star situation, guys, as I'm not sure if he's going to talk about the characters or if he's just going to talk about the weapons. And I think right now...
Okay, that's a potential point that might happen. I'm leaning into more to the characters for me personally. I think it needs to... not only just because we need more 4 stars, it makes the 5 stars more special, you know? I just think it makes them a little bit more special. If we could get some cool 4 stars as well. And again, more support roles, because I think at the minute the game just seems to be leaning more into the DPS side of things heavily. You know, people like to say, and I know she was kind of advertised as this, that Changli's a sub DPS. She's a straight up DPS, man. In my opinion, she's just straight up DPS. She requires too much field time. She's not a sub DPS. She's not really a support in any way. She's a straight up DPS.
Now in Wuthering Waves, Kuro Games has a serious problem for free-to-play and light spenders. What do I mean by that? Well, Kuro Games rewarded us so heavily in the beginning of the year. A lot of us have spent it on the characters, more so on the character banners, right? And we've collected multiple units. The thing is, if you're like me, and I'm a content creator, but it may be different for you guys have probably picked out certain characters and built them up. For me, I build up all the characters. I like to test them and play with them. I don't refresh as often, guys. I'm not really a believer in refresh because I like to keep an authentic experience to you guys. But I have understood, guys, that even though you have multiple characters, the weapon choice...
I don't know why people worry about that authentic experience for the viewers, as if they can't relate. And I understand sometimes when people talk about like whale videos, you know, when people spend thousands of pounds to get everything. I get that. But I think people want to see that as well. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, if you're making content on a game and you're spending a lot of time playing the game, it's not really relatable to a lot of people as well, because they can't do that unless they, you know, they're not in work, or they've just left school, or they're in between jobs or whatever. But most of the time, people are limited to the time anyway, so it's kind of like, you know, I don't know why people feel the need to to make that statement. It's like I see a lot of content creators now, like, I'm going free to play on this one, guys. Going free to play. And it's fair enough if you want to go free to play. And if it's for an experiment, fair enough. But when people try and make out that it's like kind of relatable to the viewer, it's kind of like...
in the game are not great. How many of you guys have watched any of my guides or pre-release guides or early analysis guides, right? Normally I do about 2, maybe 3 sometimes, but genuinely, right, when I say what's the best weapons, other than their signature and the standard like 5-star weapons, right? Rarely do I ever mention 4 stars. Now with the newer units that have been releasing, I have mentioned 4-star weapons that are alternative weapons, right? But most of the time when
I think there is some alright 4-star weapons, but I do agree there's not enough decent ones, but I think there's some alright ones actually.
I mention a 4-star weapon, it is the what's the thing called, the battle pass weapons, you guys.
Yeah.
And that's not very free to play friendly, so I can understand for free to play, even though you can use a 4-star and still get good damage, it's significantly higher for a standard 5-star weapon from the standard banner or the signature weapon. That being said, Kuro has given us a lot of pulls, so I've given them leverage, because in the beginning of the year I also did say, if you had your favorite characters and stuff like that and you're good to go and you wanted limited characters instead of the standard units, I vouch for, instead of pulling on the standard banner, pulling on the weapon banner.
I agree with that as well. I didn't do that at the start myself, and I do think, you know, if you've got what you want out of a banner or you're not interested in a character, hey, save for the next character if you want to, you know what I mean? Just to try and guarantee yourself if you're going to lose your 50-50 and you can go on for your guarantee. But I do think it's worth to pull for some of the weapons. You're guaranteed to get it as well. You know, you might get lucky and not have to go deep into pity or even reach pity. I think they're quite generous in the system. I think it's got a decently generous system, the game has. And I think as well, we're going to get more, like at the minute, we're still early on, aren't we? We are going to get a bigger pool of all this sort of stuff. But I can't necessarily disagree with what he's saying fundamentally.
Because the weapons are guaranteed, and the weapons when it comes to tower adversity are universal, and you know what I mean, they're not like gated like in Genshin, Honkai and stuff like that. When you're locked into the end game mode, right, that weapon is locked on that character. In Wuthering, it's not locked on that character. You play one side of the tower, and if you're like, let's just say tomorrow, guys, like Jinxie and Jian, right? You use both those characters, both are broad blade users, but you only have Jian's weapon, let's say, right? Well, you can use Jian's weapon on Jian, but after you're done with that side, you can still use Jian's weapon on Jinxie if you didn't pull for Jinxie's weapon.
The game's quite generous.
That's a benefit that I will say Kuro Games does have, is that you don't get locked. But let's watch this video, guys. Enough yapping. I want to give you guys constructive criticism and my honest thoughts about this whole situation.
A guaranteed weapon banner, incredibly powerful effects, shareable equipment across endgame content.
Sorry to keep pausing. That's one thing that I was saying we need more of with weapon banners, sorry, and future weapons, is more general weapon usage, ones that are going to benefit more characters. I think that's how they can be a little bit more generous and still incentivize people to want to pull. You know, if there's a banner that somebody's not really interested in, but there's a weapon that is kind of designed for the character on the banner, and it's probably going to benefit them more so, but it's going to benefit a lot of other characters as well, or at least a couple of potential characters have come prior. I think that's a good way to kind of play the field on both sides. Personally, I think that's the best way to go.
There's no doubt at all for any player familiar with other popular gacha games that Wuthering Waves has one of the most generous and player-friendly weapon systems across the genre.
Yep,
unfortunately, this generosity has come with a price. 5-star weapons, specifically the limited ones, are some of the most valuable pieces of equipment in the game. Part of this is because of their fantastic base stats, incredible critical boosts, and powerful weapon effects. The other part is because of how genuinely bad many of the 4-star weapons.
That's the problem. These need to be a bit better, and we need to get more of them. And I'm hoping we will. You know, we're still early on. I'm hoping that's something that's going to change. I don't think the 5 stars need to necessarily change in them being nerfed at all, because that would just, you know, that's not a good thing. I think they need to be usable on multiple characters, and the 4 stars need to get better.
While a player has the potential to pull and upgrade these weapons,
Okay, I don't want to already pause in the video, guys, but like I said, I agree with this statement, guys. A lot of people are sometimes, I'm not going to even say a lot of people because I think the general consensus understands, but even I said, but I get one or two comments, guys, right? From one or two people who always talk about why don't you go more in depth of the free to play like 4 stars. Guys, when you look at the free to play 4 stars that they give us, they're all terrible. And I'm not even joking with you guys. Like, I wish I could recommend you guys.
He's not wrong, but at the same time, I don't think they're all terrible. They're just not very good. And weapons are incredibly important in this game. They are trying to get people to push to buy the weapons, which I understand. The game is incredibly generous, so I suppose if you want to play devil's advocate, I guess it's fair for them to do so. But I think for the benefit of the game in the long term, maybe just buff a couple of the ones that are already out and then maybe release a few others that like are decent in upcoming patches and updates. But yeah, I wouldn't say they're all terrible, but you know, I can't disagree really because they're not great, you know?
Some more free to play 4 stars, right? Majority of the time, they're trash and they don't like the scaling. Like, you see how that says double attack, right? I always see other ones where it's like, oh yeah, energy regen and defense and other stuff. And I'm like, we don't need that. Like, why is there not more free crit rate options? Why is there not?
I agree with that. For now, I do. Yeah, I do think there's a lot of equipment in this game. It's like I was saying it about when I was rolling echoes. Sorry for keep pausing. You've got echoes now that you've probably rolled and they're trash. You know, they started off really good and then you get just terrible substats. I think, you know, potentially those echoes have the potential to be god rolls in the future depending on characters that come. And a lot of these weapons might be really good with characters that come in the future. Of course, it doesn't help us now if they're not really catered to the characters that are in the game, which is a fair thing to say. There definitely should be a little bit more catered to the characters in the game. And I wouldn't be against them getting a buff, definitely.
Not more free crit damage options. Where are those like 4 stars? I feel like one thing that Kuro Games does have to improve and address, I mean, they don't have to necessarily address it, but I will say for at least my free to plays, I'll speak out for my free to plays right now. If you're free to play, let me
don't speak out for them. They don't deserve it.
Represent you then. Hopefully this video does good. I do think Kuro should at least include 1 or 2 good 4-star options where we can get multiple copies. That way, like, we don't have to pull for every other weapon. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
Again, let me know how you guys feel down in the comments
section.
Let's keep watching the video.
Weapons at a much faster pace. Oftentimes, their combination of main stat and weapon effects, even at max rank, pales in comparison to the other limited options. There's no problem at all with more expensive weapons resulting in better performance, but that
he's finding that balance,
wide,
isn't he? Yeah.
And it extends beyond performance in combat. Today we'll be discussing the power level of 4-star weapons. Not just from a combat perspective, but from an account building one as well. 4-star weapons limit your options across your gameplay in more ways than you might think. Outside of dealing less damage, 4-star weapons also severely limit the viability of your echoes, your resource efficiency, and even team synergies.
True.
We'll be breaking down why this is the case, and why pulling for 5-star weapons can actually be one of the most efficient ways to optimize your account, even as a low spender or free to play. When it comes to 4-star weapons, outside of those in the battle pass, virtually every single one has a secondary main stat of attack percentage, defense percentage, or energy regeneration percentage.
Yep.
This effectively splits the weapons across 3 categories: offense, defense, and support. These defensive and supportive weapons are some of the best in the game, primarily due to the fact that they have no 5-star options. The Concerto energy regeneration weapons in particular are some of the most powerful. The low base attack on these weapons and 4-star weapons in general, which can
and that's the one thing I will say, guys. I feel like the only 4 stars that are even viable are this, like, you see variation. I don't know what class again, but you know what I mean. It's like all the weapon class that Verena uses, the supportive type ones for 4 stars. I do think there are some options that are always going to be viable because support units are always easier to build up. And that's the one thing.
I don't think it's just that as well. I think it's because a lot of the banners we've been getting in the game a DPS. The game, this is what I was saying about where we need more support banners and more healer banners. Well, we definitely need a freaking healer because we need somebody to compete with Arena. But we're getting so many, we're leaning heavily into the DPS side of things with the banners we've been getting. The weapons that are coming are DPS based weapons, really. They're for a DPS character or a sub DPS character. So, of course, the DPS weapons 4 stars are going to not be designed to try and compete with those weapons that are coming out now, you know, because they know that, right, we've got this character coming out and this signature, this character, this signature, this cat, and they're all kind of on the DPS side of things. So they're not going to want the 4-star DPS weapons that are going to be used for those characters to necessarily compete with them, because they're going to want people to pull for the weapon and obviously they pull for the character or pull for the weapon. Whereas we don't really have that on the support and the defense side of things. So it leans into them probably just being better because they don't have to worry about competing with a 5-star signature weapon from a banner. That'll probably change as we get more support and more healer-based characters. But I do agree. And I understand why Kuro are doing it. They're trying to lean people in a soft way of nudging them towards going for the signature weapons. And it is a generous system. And I do think that some of the 4 stars are viable, but they definitely are more viable on the support and the defense side of things. But I think that's why, as I said, because of the way the banners have gone in the game at the moment.
I think you guys, I would say looking forward, is that if you guys don't have a Verena, let's say, right, guys, and you're going to want to...
I ain't got Verena, your shit's balked.
Future sustain unit, which is a lot of people,
true,
actually. It's like, surprisingly, a lot of people either want a second sustain for their second team comp, or they just don't have Arena and they do want to sustain. One of the big benefits I will say is with the weapon options for those characters, for the defensive / supportive types, the 4 stars are at least good. So when I do make guides on those or stuff like that, at least you guys will have good options right there, and it'll be more free to play friendly. But for DPSs,
like, man, my 4-star Arena's not even maxed out, and healing's ridiculous.
DPSs and sub DPSs, man, it feels like a low blow not getting their weapon, or at least having the standard 5 stars.
Again, though, I think it's because the way the banners have been set
the personal damage of a character typically isn't a concern, as these characters that use these weapons typically don't care about their damage, or their damage scales with a different stat, like defense for Tao Chi. On the other hand, for offensive weapons, the entire opposite is the case. With lowered base attack stats and a main stat that is typically attack, these weapons at a baseline don't feel that great. When compared to 5-star weapons, the lowered base attack on the 4 stars, even combined with their attack main stat, has a huge impact. Every percentage stat boost in the game, be it from your echoes or character abilities, scales off this base attack. Oftentimes, the attack main stat on these 4-star weapons just barely makes up for this difference in base attack, and only once a character is at very high levels to allow the base attack of that character, which is included in the percentage calculation, to have a greater impact. Coupled with the fact that these 5-star weapons are bundled with a critical rate or critical damage secondary main stat, the end result...
What did I say, guys? I know I keep pausing in between, guys, just to get my input, but one of the things I was thinking about while he said the crit rate thing, guys, keep in mind, who remembers, you guys know the exact name I'm talking about. I don't know the name because I'm always bad with names, but the weapon on the battle pass, right, that you could use for Yin Lin, right? I know there's crit rate on that weapon, I believe, guys.
I can't remember the name either.
Okay, and I want you guys to understand something, right? You guys pay, what, $10? Some of you pay $20 for the battle pass, right? What I find so atrocious is, like, I think even the crit rate value for that 4-star is, like, I think it's significantly lower than what it could be. Like, I would wish that... The thing with me is with the 5-star weapons is when they do their little passives or like the bonuses that you get on the weapon besides, you know, the attack scaling or the crit rate, crit damage, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like you get 12% bonus when you activate skill, like that description of the weapon, right? I almost wish that the description of the weapon, which on the 4-star isn't as good, right? Which it isn't already, right? As the 5-star counterpart. But at least the crit values and attack would be the same. That being said, I understand what, you know, category game we're in. We're in gacha. But I almost feel like if you're paying $10 to $20 for a battle pass, you can at least do that.
Result is that your 4-star weapons are...
I guess he's kind of right there. But I think that's why the signature system in the game is super generous, like, because you've got a guarantee. I think you've got to look, because at the end of the day, it's a gacha game. So if you're going free to play, you've got to be a little bit more calculated in, right, where do I focus my resources, right? You know, obviously, if you're going to spend a little bit of money or you're going to spend a lot of money, you're going to be able to play a little bit more fast and loose and be like, oh, I'm going to do both. I'm going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and try and see how things go. But when you're free to play, you've got to focus things a little bit more, well, a lot more. And I think, you know, that's just going to come with you having to maybe like, right, okay, this banner, I need a weapon. This weapon's going to suit characters I've already got. It's going to suit the character in the banner better, of course. But let's focus on going for the weapon. And then, hey, if I get it early, let's try and pull for the character potentially. Because I think the game is generous enough with the resources it gives you that you can do that. Of course, you're not going to be able to, again, play it as fast and loose as somebody who's putting money into the game. But, you know, at the end of the day, we are in a gacha game, so you've got to understand that you're going to have to make sacrifices in regards to the stuff you get in the game. And I do understand, at the same time, it shouldn't be too punishing for free-to-play players, because they make up a large portion of the game and they bring in other people who potentially are going to pay. But it's about finding that balance. I think the balance is probably off a little bit at the moment. I think some of the 4 stars do need to get a little bit better, especially on the DPS side of things. But as maybe we start to get more characters, because at the moment we are heavily leaning into DPS, sub-DPS characters in the banners, and I think that's why we're just not getting the good 4 stars for those characters or for the other DPS characters in the game, because they're trying to get people to purchase the stuff around DPS characters. And of course, they're not going to want loads of 4 stars to be really good. And you're like, well, I don't even need to buy that. Max up this 4 star and it's pretty much just as good. And I get that's not what these guys are asking for, but I think it's just about finding that balance. And I think that's something that might take a couple of patches and a few characters and different banners to come out before they get there, maybe. I don't think it's in a terrible position, but I do think a lot of these points are valid, though.
Effectively missing a whole secondary main stat compared to 5-star weapons. When the second main stat is basically equivalent to the raw stats you get from a plus 25 untuned 4-cost Echo, you are missing a lot of stats just from using a 4-star weapon. This isn't even counting the weapon effects. The lack of critical stats on every 4-star weapon outside of the Battle Pass is another huge issue, especially when it comes to resource management and echo building. When you're building and farming for a DPS character using a 4-star weapon, oftentimes the only viable 4-cost you can use is one with crit rate. Going with critical damage will make it impossible to have a reasonable critical ratio across your character. Similarly, to get that crit rate up...
It's true. I think if you go in on DPS characters at the minute in the game anyway, the way everyone's built is you want crit rate or crit damage anyway, but you are going to need to lean more into crit rate. I do agree with that, but yeah, it's kind of what I'm looking for anyway, really.
To usable around 65% for a character, you'll need to combine that crit rate main stat on your 4-cost with a crit rate roll on virtually every single piece. This makes your farming process incredibly painful when gearing your characters. Optimizing for only 1 or 2...
That is true. It does emphasize in the good substat rolls even more. That is a fair point. So it kind of like, it's a snowball effect. So it does, in that regard, I agree there. So yeah, there's no denying that does make it even worse. But again, it's finding that balance though.
Stats in particular means that you'll have less viable options when it comes to your Echo main stats, and a mandatory requirement for crit rate across your substats. If you're
Dude, it's so crazy how it's easier to farm for Jinxie and Changli because you can use either Emerald or Genesis because the damage drop-off isn't that, like, significant to her main weapon. It's literally, they're about the same, maybe like a 7% difference, I believe. But Jian, man, dude, the fact, even Jian's weapon, as amazing as it is, right? Dude, crit damage main stats are always, like, the amount of crit rate you need, right? And I get the average person who's watching this video right now or just playing the game probably averages around, like, what do you guys average? You would say like 60% crit rate, right? And
on a good side of things,
about 50 something to 60. I'd feel like the casual or average player doesn't have as much time to like go out into the world. I mean, you can do the tacit fields, but I've talked about like the tacit fields, guys. I don't.
And damn, for a while I was sitting on like about 13% crit rate on Gian. It was terrible. I don't even know where I'm at actually on that. He might not even be at 60 at the moment.
Think the ratio that they give you for the echoes is good for the amount of stamina you spent. I get it's the equivalent to like other things. I kind of wish that's like one thing they would look at in the future is like, hey, you reach this higher level, let's give you double the amount of echoes, right? Or if you're not going to give us double the amount of echoes, I do think, and I think a lot of people who have made it this far will agree with me in the video, we need more Echo EXP materials.
Yeah, agree with that. That is the biggest bottleneck in the game at the minute by far. We all thought it was going to be tuners. It is Echo experience materials. And when you're at Union level 50 and above, you should be exponentially getting more. I'm not talking ridiculous numbers, but the increases are ridiculously small. And that is where you're at the bottleneck now, because especially, and then this is not even taking into account where you're free to play or premium. If you're just getting trash substat you burn through those mats so freaking fast. I think I'm still sitting at above 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 tuners, and there's people out there who've got like 4K, and I didn't really do much rolling before 1.1. I kind of waited because I wanted to see what was going to happen with the whole Echo system, because there were talks of a lot of changes. So I've kind of artificially got a little bit more. I'm artificially pumped up because I did a lot of that. But it's just the mats, man. The mats, it's like, dude, it's rough. And then when you're trying to level characters as well, it's like, even as somebody who, I buy the podcast, I've put about 70 quid into the game minus the podcast and the Asteroid Pass as well. So I'm not free to play. I'm no whale by any means. You know, I'm a paid player though. And I'm still at that point where I'm like, dude, I'm just struggling for mats, and it's a bit rough, and that's even me using you know, solvents here and there to go do a bit of farming. So I definitely agree with that big time. That needs to change in my opinion,
because both of those is like, it's a pain, man. And I understand, like, this is all RNG. There are times, like, for me building Jin Si or Chang Li, it was really easy, wasn't that hard, right? But don't worry, I know some of you are thinking right now, oh, it was hard for me to build a certain character. Do I not have that problem? No, guys, my problem was with Gian, man. I farmed the 3 cost, either it's the car or the Hu Chief, even the bird, right, guys? I can't even get arrow damage element. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it took me a while as well, actually.
Then the fact that that's already difficult, and those 3, I swear the wind creatures are the hardest. Like,
dude, the freaking Geochalon to get healing bonus. Oh my god, with how long that thing takes to spawn and die when he doesn't drop an echo as well. Oh, pain.
The wind echoes are the hardest and most annoying to farm, especially the Hu Chiefs, because they waste so much time, man, throwing that circle field. It's like, so why? Just let me just quickly nuke you and get on with my day. But
just die.
Yeah, man. And for you not to get arrow damage after that, for you not to get it from the tacit fields, and then for you to roll, and then for you to miss on all of them, I will say that is a demoralizing feeling. If we had more like Echo EXPs, and let's say we were getting multiple, right, and we just miss, but we can keep re-rolling into it, I think would be fine. The other thing I think that Kuro should update in this game, and this is just a pro tip, they should allow us to dismantle the gold echoes that we are never going to use and get XP in return out of it. Or
that's a fair point. I probably wouldn't do it too much. Well, it depends if they've rolled. I've rolled them once or twice, because like I say, I still think there's going to be potential characters coming that are going to make those, but then you can always reroll. That's a good idea, actually, that is. I think that's a fair idea, because then the choice is there if you want to or not. But yeah, that's definitely a good choice.
Or just even use the 0 cost
idea, should I say.
The ones we're never going to upgrade, and just put them all into another echo. And no, before someone comments, I'm not talking about, oh, I know someone's going to say, isn't that in the game you level it up? I'm talking about not leveling it up. I'm talking about it just sits there, the ones you're never going to use. You can dump them into the echo you want to upgrade, and boom, EXP materials right there.
But even ones that are potentially leveled up, I get it. You kind of wasting because they've already been put in. But if you can at least get a little bit back, you know, kind of like a bit of a tax rebate or something, you're getting 50% back or 30% back. It's a little bit back, isn't it? And it doesn't feel like it's totally whack. On a dead echo, I'm talking about, you know, one that it's because there's been a lot of people who did this at the start of the game, which I always say not to. Do up to 5 to 10, get your reroll, see what happens, and then decide whether you carry on going. But people were doing a lot of it at the start, where they're just maxing echoes out and then re-rolling them and just getting absolutely dead echoes. you know, it would be useful to do that as well. Just being able to dismantle them full stop and get experience back would be a really good idea, actually.
Someone who's been rolling to optimize echoes, you'll understand that this will dramatically increase the time that it takes for you to get a working equipment set for a character. This means more tuners, more echo experience, and more farming to get your character in a usable state. This also means more frustration, bad rolls, and tuners evaporating into thin air. In a lot of ways, saving your resources by working with cheaper equipment can result in more expenses later down the road. It's eerily similar to real life. Pulling that 5-star weapon is a big upfront expenditure, but it saves you a lot in the long run, especially if you're looking to get your stats to a certain level to challenge endgame content. Plus, you're guaranteed to get this power and efficiency. Building and upgrading 4-cost weapons also comes with another devastating downside: sunk costs. Early on in the game during Yinlin's release, I made a terrible mistake. With Jinzhou Keeper, a respectable 4-star stat stick on her banner, I made the hasty decision to save some resources and build her around that 4-star weapon instead of her signature, String Master. Then
I do regret not pulling for the signature for Yinlin. That's a mistake that I learned, and then since I've made sure I got I got Jian's, but I've made sure I've got Jinxi's, and I haven't gone for Changli's yet. But I am gonna pull for it. I've been chipping away at it slowly now. I've started to, every time I get a little bit, I'm going into it, but I'm very early in. But yeah, that was a mistake I made, and I've learned from it.
I remembered I had Encore on my account as well.
Wait a minute. Is he free to play? If he's free to play, right, then I understand what he's talking about. If this man's not free to play and he's a light spender, right? Surely he knew there was a battle pass weapon, right? That would have got him crit rate. Surely, right?
Well, and realized that by pulling String Master, I could upgrade 2 extremely powerful characters at once. I pulled Yinlin's weapon. It's great. I also have a level 60 or 70 Jinzhou Keeper in my inventory. Because of the ability to share weapons in endgame content, I will likely never need to use Jinzhou Keeper ever again. I will never get those hundreds of thousands of credits, weapon experience, and skill upgrade materials back. In short, 4-star weapons are even worse to level up because of the ability to share weapons in endgame content. As you progress through the game and build up your roster, pulling for one limited 5-star weapon can potentially gear 2, 3, or even 4 characters at once.
What I said.
And almost all of the time, this will be an upgrade. As the game's roster only grows with each new release,
that's where I think the biggest buff will come for the 4-stars, you know, allowing them to be using multiple characters. But again, it's that balance. They've got to encourage people to want to pull for those, haven't they? At the end of the day, the game's free to play. They've got to try and get people to spend. That's their end goal for them. And they are being incredibly generous. And it is a generous system in the game anyway. So, you know, it's like I say, it's about finding that balance. But yeah, I think there needs to be some small changes.
Value of your existing 5-star weapons can only increase. My advice to every player is to simply build up that arsenal. Pull a limited 5-star weapon for every weapon class. Sure, you might not have the most synergistic weapon effect and character kit combination.
Okay, he's saying pull a limited 5-star weapon of every class, right? Let's be real though, right? What he's saying is a little bit unrealistic, especially if you're free to play or light spender, because number one, what he's talking about, okay, let's go over this. How many of us want 5-star characters in the game right now, right? A lot of us wanted Jian, right? And if you didn't want Jian, you wanted Yinlin. And let's be real, I know majority of the community, there is a small percent. No doubt people want Camilla. I'm hoping one day we get a Geshu Lin announcement, right, guys? But the issue is, number one, getting the character is mostly primary for almost every.
Again, though, this is where I say the sacrifices have to be made if you're going to remain free to play, which I'm not knocking people playing free to play at all. I'm not. You know, I play other gacha games free to play. This is the only one I've really spent a little bit on. I spent a little bit on Honkai Star Rail and Genshin though, but that was chat with Genshin telling me to pull for characters. And with Honkai, I bought the pass a couple of times, like twice, I think. So, you know, the way I see it, I think that's just fair dues for playing a game for a few hours. I got like 100 hours out of Star Rail, even more. A 10 is nothing, really, in that regards. But I think if you are going to actively be right, I'm staying free to play, which is totally fair. You've got to understand that, right, I've got to focus my mats and my energy and my pulls in a particular way. I either want to get all the characters or try to get all the characters, and I'm going to get a big wide pool that's not very deep, or I'm going to be like, right, I'm going to skip this character. I would like this character, but I want to get my characters to be a little bit more sustainable and a little bit more capable of dealing with endgame content. Then I think that's just a choice you've got to make. I don't think we can expect Kuro to be like, right, we're going to make it so you never have to spend a penny on the game. You can get pretty much everybody, and you're going to be able to get all the weapons as well. And I'm not saying this is what Gamba's saying. I'm just saying that, like, you know, I think that we can't really expect Kuro to do that. And we've got to understand that this is a gacha game at the end of the day. It's free to play. And this is how they're going to make their money. Unless they start bringing skins into the game and people just want to buy skins, which then that's fair. But yeah, I think, you know, there's got to be some sort of in between there, really. And I just think making the 4-star weapons a little bit better would probably benefit more people if they want to say free to play. But at the end of the day, it's not on Kuro, I guess, to encourage people to stay free to play. Is it they want to get you to be a light spender, really?
Everybody. And I mean that everybody wants to play with a new character, okay, that they're interested in. That takes a lot of astrite, even though you can get a character at 70, right? That is a lot of astrite you're burning.
Or 22, you know, just saying, get good, Changli, 22 pulls, just saying.
Through. So you would have to pull it early. But here's the other issue on top of that, right? I don't know if y'all's gacha luck is better than mine. My gacha luck in Honkai Star Rail is amazing. My gacha luck in Wuthering Waves, guys, has been terrible.
It's been kind of here and there. I've lost a few 50-50s, to be fair. I lost Jinsei. I lost, did I use Yinlin? I can't remember now. I think I got Yinlin. I got Zhangli. I can't remember if I lost Jian as well. It's kind of been here and there with this. It's been pretty good, though. But my luck in Genshin and in Star Rail is trash. I'm not even going to go into the fails and the lost 50-50s there, but it was trash. But yeah, it's probably definitely been better in this game. But I think at the minute, I think inevitably it's probably going to be a little bit better because you've got a smaller pool to pull from.
Lost every single 50-50. Dude, I have an R2 Janshin. I have an R2 Verena. Okay? I didn't even it's so crazy to me because I lose the 50-50. I want to put this into a free-to-play or light spender's perspective. Imagine spending all that astrite, not even getting the character, losing the 50-50. How are you supposed to go for the weapon? Now, if he means overtime, sure. But it's going to get hard, guys, because the characters they're making are really good, and then they synergize with another unit currently. Like,
that's where we just gotta, you know, that's what the FOMO is. That's what the FOMO is. It's the nature of the beast, I guess.
Like I said, JG is around the corner, guys. We don't know if she's gonna be first or second right now as far as the banner is concerned, right?
And then there's gonna be a weapon. He's like, what do I do? You know, it's like I say again, if you're gonna be free to play, it's just that that's the sort of sacrifices that are gonna need to be made. It's gonna need to be made if you're a light spender, unless you're an absolute whale. At the end of the day, that's just gonna be how it is. You know, some people might want to try and go for copies who are a light spender. You know, gonna be like a lot less likely to get that to happen than maybe just getting the banner and then getting the weapon because you got the guarantee. But still, you know, I just think it's the nature of these games, isn't it? You know, you've just got to accept that you are not going to get everything in the game, and you're not going to be able to. And even if you spend a decent amount of money, you're still probably not going to be able to. And it's just you've got to accept it and understand that you're going to have to play the game differently and probably potentially put more time into farming other things within the game to maybe lift up the areas that your character's weak in, I guess.
But even her, she is going to be able to buff Changli, Jinsei, Lin Yang, and we'll see her multipliers and what they do with the character, right? And how strong she's going to be and what they change before release day of her kit, because who knows if they make her stronger, change some wording, and then she synergizes with more units. Then we're all going to be looking like, oh, well, we'd be dumb not to pull that unit. Now, of course, you're not interested in her design or animations. You can easily skip. But I feel like he's underestimating the value is that most people, male or female, are waifu and husbando collectors first.
He's underestimating the FOMO, maybe, right? That's what it is. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's FOMO. It really isn't anything about the characters, which it is, but it's about the FOMO. It's about your inability to be like, well, I've got to get that one. And then being like, well, I couldn't get this thing, but I had to get this thing because, you know, I had to.
And what do you have to do? You have to win the 50-50 first, okay? So I think if he means long-term, sure. But I also think it's very unrealistic for a light spender or free-to-play to try to build up that arsenal as quickly as he may be talking about.
Like Jin C, who does resonance skill damage working with Jian's weapon that grants heavy attack damage, but her performance on a limited 5-star weapon will be much better than any of the 4 stars. This also makes the character building process, specifically for DPS characters, far more manageable in the long run. Viewing these weapon pulls as an investment in your account rather than an expenditure is a perspective that makes a lot of sense, especially when every single weapon is guaranteed. At the end of the day, Kuro has to make money. I have no doubt in my mind that the game's systems of a guaranteed weapon matter, weapon sharing, and the poor performance of many 4-star weapons are designed to persuade players to pull on those limited weapons.
100% I agree with that.
But in a lot of ways, Kuro is using the carrot instead of the stick to motivate us. They're providing more benefits to pulling these weapons instead of drawbacks. It would have been easy to lock echo and weapons to a character once they're used in the tower, but they didn't. Hopefully, this overview was helpful in highlighting just how effective a 5-star limited weapon is, even if its stat bonuses don't perfectly line up with a character. The upside of pulling these weapons is huge, and in my opinion, can do more for your account and its progression than you might think. Peace out.
I think I agree with a lot of what he said there. I think I'd lean into agreeing with him more in the sense that even if you're going to have to be like, right, I can't pull this character out, I'm going for the weapon. I'm going to go for the weapon, and then I'm potentially going to go for the next weapon. In the next banner, we get another DPS. I want to get that weapon. You have a look at the stats, the all that sort of stuff, how the weapon's going to benefit characters, and then be like, right, this is potentially going to benefit A, B, C. This one's going to benefit A, B, C, D. Right, okay, I've got a weapon now that's capable of being used across multiple characters on the game. Now, I've got these 2 weapons. I can maybe start to pull on some of the future banners in the characters. And then, you know, you pull a couple of characters. Right, let's try and go for some weapons again now. Because with the weapon, you got the guarantee. So I think that's a sensible idea for somebody who's free to play. At the end of the day, you've just got to accept, unless you get insanely good luck, you're going to miss out on some stuff. That's just how it is, and that's how it kind of has to be for the business model to work. And I think the game is really generous. So yeah, I don't think it's a massive problem. I've got more of an issue in the 4-star regard of there not being enough 4-star characters, in my opinion. I think there is some decent 4-star weapons out there. Of course, they're a mile off the 5 stars, but that's how it's designed to be. At the end of the day, I think the only way we will get weapons that aren't light years above the 4 stars is if they remove the guarantee. And I don't think we want that, do we? I don't want that anyway. I think maybe we just buff a couple of the DPS 4 stars. And maybe they potentially do that when we get a couple of banners that aren't so DPS orientated. We get, like, you know, when we get the next sustain banner potentially, or we get a proper support banner, they're like, okay, let's, in the background, let's buff a couple of these 4 stars now, because we're not selling a DPS character and a DPS signature weapon, so we don't necessarily have to worry about the competition right now. I think that's potentially something that'll happen.
Yeah, great video, guys. Go check out Saint Thanatos. I apologize if I butchered his name incorrectly, guys. I wanted to say one thing, though. I agree with 90% of his points made in this video, but one issue that I would say that he's not mentioning, while he is mentioning all the benefits of pulling the weapon, how Kuro doesn't lock you, which is better than any other gacha game right now out on the market and their system, the unfortunate reality is, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I believe 50% of the community is free to play. I believe that 20%, maybe even 25%, right? Which would equal 75% now, because we're adding that 25 is light spenders. And I believe the other 25%, which would complete making it the 100%, are the whales. You know what I mean?
I'd probably say it's even less than 25%. Typically, I think it's usually, isn't it like I'm just pulling these numbers out of my ass, but I'm sure I've heard this through the grapevine. There's usually around about 60% of free, you know, another 30-odd% light to medium spenders, and then it's like in a couple of percent that are real whales, but that couple of percent spend enough that kind of covers the rest of it. So yeah, if that's the number, that's incredibly generous, and you know, Kuro should be starting to do really well then if that's the case.
So while 50% of the community, I say, could access, like the light spenders can access some weapons, you know what I mean, quicker than free to play, obviously. Whales are going to get everything, so their units are going to be powerful. It's just going to take time to build them up. I do feel like free to play is being left behind a little bit in the dust. So the only way I feel like they can compensate it is to make the character so powerful even without the weapon. But even with JG and...
I think if they do that, though, it makes... What's the point in pulling for the weapon then, really? You know, there's going to be no desire to need to pull for the weapon. Of course, you're going to be able to buff your character a little bit. But even if you're a spender, what's the point in spending more to get a weapon when you can be like, right, I'm just going to wait for the next character, you know? Or just pull again on the character to get a copy of the character. I don't think they need to do that. I think the best thing they can do is just buff a couple of the 4-star weapons, personally. I think that'll fix the problem.
It feels like they need their weapons, right? Especially Zhang Liao, because we don't have a good alternative option really for him. But good video. Like I said, guys, let me know what you guys think of this video. It's a little bit different. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my reaction and insight addressing this. Shout out to Sanitos, great video, man. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, guys. If you guys want me doing more content like this, informative and reacting, please let me know what videos you guys want me to see. I always recommend dropping suggestions down below if you guys want my input and take on something. That's it for this video, guys, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Yeah, that was a good video. That was. I don't like disagree with many things that Gamba said. I just think that I do think, you know, and I'm not saying that he's not saying this, but Kuro have got to make money. At the end of the day, free-to-play players are always going to probably get second-class citizen treatment, so to speak. But I think the game is incredibly generous. It is generous, more generous than majority of gacha games out there. The weapons banner system is super generous, and I do agree with what Saint Tontas said in regards to the 5-star banners actually being really useful. You've just got to take into account that as a free-to-play player, and even as a light spender, there's going to be banners where you're going to be like, right, okay, this character looks really cool, but the weapon's going to benefit my account overall more. It's going to benefit a bunch of my other characters. This character is going to benefit maybe a couple of team synergies, and it's going to bring something to the team that I potentially don't have, but the weapon's going to benefit me more. And at the mini, because we keep getting so many freaking DPS/sub-DPS, I don't think we need to worry about those as characters. You probably want the weapons more. And I don't think in the last couple of banners, you would have been wrong in going for the weapons, personally. Even though Jinxie's fucking sick. I think it would have been fine to really skip Changli this time and go for a weapon potentially. Even though, you know, obviously the waifu meta, you got to pull for her. But I think at the end of the day, you just got to make those decisions and not get caught up by the FOMO and just try and focus your efforts in a particular way that's going to benefit your account overall. If you're trying to min-max anyway, if you're just enjoying the game, fuck it, pull whatever you want. I think people get a little bit too wrapped up in that sometimes because they've got to hit the end game content as efficiently as possible. And I think at the end of the day, if you're free to play, if your idea of getting what you want out of a gacha game is the end game content and clearing it as efficiently as possible and min-maxing everything, you ain't going to do it as a free to play player. That's just a fact. You might be better and build a better account to be able to make your character stronger because you understand the game a little bit better and you can your synergy's better and your roles are better, but you just ain't going to ever be as efficient as what you could be if you're spending in the game. That's just a fact. But yeah, good video from both. I'm going to have to drop a sub to Saint Tontas. That was a really good video and he made some excellent points that were well informed as well. Yeah, I think I agree with majority of what he said there. And another good video from Gamba. There we go. Reaction to a reaction to somebody else's content. Because we are creatively devoid here. But good video. Check them both out, guys. Free-to-play is always disregarded. We have to just accept that we're not financially contributing to the games. I mean, why does it matter? What does it do for the players? Why is the Terraverse such a big deal? It's just basically kind of like the end-game content in the game, isn't it, really? It's just seen as like the hard content to complete. You know, pretty much that's it, really. You know? Yeah, I enjoyed that video. Good video. Definitely check out this Saint Tontas as well. I know we've reacted to a Gamba video before, and you should check out Gamba, but yeah, I'll have to watch some of his videos in the future. Be curious. Some good content there. I like easy, so I guess I can skip it. Well, the first few bits are not hard. It does like, you know, especially when you don't have that, because the end game's where it kind of like punishes you for not building multiple characters. Because obviously the vigor situation system is that you get like 10 vigor on all your characters, and you use I think is it 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you use the same character in each you won't be able to continue to use them in the other areas. So you have to kind of swap characters out and be like, right, okay, I might not be able to do it so good in this, but I'll change this character out and I'll use them a little bit later when I'll need them a little bit more. This is where I was saying we need another freaking healer. That's good. I know Beiji's decent, but you know, she's not the same. So play some WuWa though. Play some WuWa. Let's play some fucking WuWa. It's basically, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like a point system that each character gets so much in the Tower of Adversity, and so say there's 4 stages in this particular tower, and then there's 4 stages in this tower. It'll use so much vigor every time you use that character in a comp in each stage. So you'll end up running out of vigor, so you won't be able to use that character anymore in the other part of the tower. Do you know what I mean? So it encourages you to mix and match your team, basically. So say you're crushing it with Jian, or say you're crushing it with Kalcharo, freaking Xia and Beiji, let's say, and you use them back to back to back. You'll get to one of the other ones where it's like, shit, I can't use Kalcharo or Beiji or Xia now. I've got to switch out Kalcharo for another DPS. You know what I mean? Watch it run. Is the jiggle physics on point, are they? Dude, she's so thick, it's ridiculous. I need to build her, actually. I do need to build her. Dude, she's so thick, it's ridiculous. Seconds. Just highlighting that video to upload, you know. Yeah, she's kind of like a quintessential tank, I think, man. And that shit what happened in Southport, so fucked up, dude. So fucked up. 3rd girl's died now. Someone went to a fucking like Taylor Swift thing like in Southport in this country and stabbed a bunch of kids. 3 little, I don't know if they're all girls, but another girl 9. Or like 6, 9 young kids. Bunch of people critically injured and kids as well. Oh shit. Leave me alone, I'm lagging. I'm lagging. Getting a shit beat out of me while I'm IFK. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I'm using the Jinjel Keeper, yeah. Yeah, that's I do regret not pulling a weapon. I do regret. Speaking of, considering we just did that video, right? Shall we pull on the fucking weapon banner? Let's fucking do it! Yay! Gamba time! Gamba time! Trash. Ass. Ass. It's just ass. We just keep chipping away at it, just slowly chipping away at it. Come on. Give me that look. Give me that Uber look. I got too lucky with Changli. I'm going to have to go all the way to hard pity, aren't I? All the way. All the way. All the fucking way, ain't we? We're going to have to go all the fucking way. All right.
Tear them to pieces. Fine harmony. Embrace the change.
Okay.
Onwards.
All right. Let's go do our daily then, shall we? Get that out of the way. Defeat the exiles. We'll start doing Changli's quest as well because we haven't got that shit done yet. And we be slacking. We be slacking. Yeah, I needed the last bit on that as well, actually.
Lend me your strength. Crush them.
Save me, boss. Save me, boss. Ain't nobody saving you now, buddy. Ain't nobody saving you now. All right, let's go. Let's go. We're done 5 out of 7, haven't we? Into the jewel boba.
Good. There's no time to waste.
I had to leave them a little bit so I could just do them all, so I don't have to wait like till the next day. Stopping support for Windows next year, isn't they? Windows 10, sorry. Did it? I don't want to talk to you, do I? No, I don't want to talk to you, man. Okay, lag me out, baby. Come on. Welcome to the second coming of Solaris Jewel Station. How many cups would you like? Present endless treasures to the second coming of Solaris. I'll have 100 cups of boba. And make half of them large, no ice, and no sugar, please. And less sugar, please. What about you? Large, extra ice, extra sugar. Now, please shout out our slogan loudly. Present endless treasures to the second coming of... Wait a minute. So, we go here. We have to... When we buy a drink, we have to then chant their fucking slogan. What the fuck is this? There's 68 cups of boba in your stomach. 68 cups of boba. Have we just contracted diabetes? Rover's gonna be muffin topping. Like a tube of toothpaste that's been squeezed. You know, and the top's not been put back on properly. We're still all sold out, yeah. I don't know what to do with it at the minute. Still need to do these for the extra mats, actually. I need a little bit of mats, like, but let's have a look on yeah, we need to do this as well, don't we?
Good. There's no time to waste.
No need to rush.
Level 1, man.
Everything will work out.
Level 1. I do like her combat animations on. What does her outro do now, actually? You know, I should really level her up, man. The incoming resonator has a resonance skill damage amplified by 38% for 14 seconds. Ooh. Oh. Alright. Okay. Resolving caliber, use basic attack after heavy attack. Strategic provincial skill defense formation to cast time counters. From 3 consecutive attacks dealing havoc damage considered as a basic attack damage. 2 resolving caliber upon its resolving caliber touch. You can hold up to 3 resolving caliber. 2 more of touches Rocksteady shields to grant that many resolving caliber. Rocksteady shield exists. The active character is attacked. So huge. Is she alright with Havoc Rover? Or like actually maybe Tao Chi Danjin potentially. I need to level up Encore as well, man. I really do. Camera slipped. Alright, let's go do this. Yeah, Encore's pretty good actually. Well, apparently I haven't leveled her up, so. But, from what I've heard through the grapevine, she's pretty fucking good.
So we're teaming up. Fine.
Yes, mama. Fast. Spider-Man mean?
Rover, you're here.
I am. Wasn't expecting you to arrive before me.
Well, as the Wayfinder, I do know a couple shortcuts.
She got me well, Miss Wayfinder.
The notes only provided a vague idea of where the game record is. I've determined the most likely location on my last visit. We'll be heading there. See if we can find anything new. After dealing with those artificers, I ruled out the other locations on my way to join you. But one can only do so much alone. This is why I need your help.
Look for you, I'm very good at finding things.
How reliable.
Yeah, I like culture.
Then let's get going.
Cheng-Li, what is it?
Nothing, Rover. I just thought... the snow. You seem curious about that ancient structure.
It looks familiar. Like the abandoned court of Savante facility I saw, but bigger in scale.
I heard it first appeared along with our sentinel. Later, the court of Savante based their chronos orders on its design.
The big ass Stargate. It's aliens. It's lizard reptile people. What about super intelligent dinosaurs? Yeah? The pulsable thumbs. Riding motorbikes.
Make it fast.
You know? What happened?
Every winter, my hometown buzzed as people left their mark in the fresh snow, hoping for dreams to come true when it melted.
Did you try it too, Cheng-Li?
No.
She
I
did
only watched
snow
from
angels,
afar.
would she lay on her
My
stomach?
forte always melted the snow faster than I liked.
I did that. That'd be kind of fucked then, wouldn't it? You know, like if you was getting freaky with that, and you know, you're pleasing a little bit too much, would that mean like, you know, she burnt your tid? Boob angels, right?
We can see the whole of Hongzhen from here. I never noticed how beautiful it looked during
Baby,
my
you're so
previous
hot.
visits.
Am I? No, baby, you're so hot.
It's the same place as always.
Oh my
I
God,
suppose
bro.
it's my state of mind that has changed.
How did it change?
I don't know. Maybe it's because your presence makes me feel at ease.
Wait! I smell tacit discords in that cave. No, there's more. Tacit discords, humans, and...
Weed.
Smells like a whole bunch of messed up frequencies. Ugh, it's so familiar. Come on! After all we've been through, you still don't trust my sniffer? Huh! Be grateful. I'm giving you a warning.
Rover, did something happen?
Classic discords could be assaulting people over there.
It's in the same direction we're going. Could it be?
Dude, everything about Chang Li's design, man, it's just so well done. Like, just look at her. Like, her face, everything. It's just like...
Signs of climbing. Someone may have been here before us.
Get away from me! I can't hold up much longer.
Anything let him go? What will happen?
Help! Help! Thank goodness!
Please stand back. We'll take it from here.
I can fight! Let me help!
Oh shit, he's fighting over there. Comes buried in the ground, resembles those commonly used by the Pioneer Association.
Thanks for your help.
Are you alright? He's now.
I'm okay. Wait.
He's suddenly perked up.
You? Are you the Rover?
How do you know me?
You're that hero who fought against the Stronodian. And you also resolved a time crisis here with Madam Magistrate. Everyone's been talking about you. And Lady Chun-Li. I never thought I'd have the chance to see you in person. Without your help, I'd have been a goner for sure. I can't die here. Not when I've got someone waiting for me. I finally found it. After all this time. Ugh.
Take it easy, everything's alright. Chun-Li exudes that sort of energy where she'd like
the crisis in Mount Firmament for the
make you go on
time
your hands and
being.
knees and eat your ass, man.
Public access to the mountain is
It
still
wouldn't be like, do it to me,
restricted.
baby. She'd be like, do it.
Before entering the mountain, any explorer must submit a request and can only do so while accompanied by the Midnight
do it.
Rangers. Sir, could you please share your reasons for traveling here alone?
I heard about Mount Firmament's legend, so I came to find its secret. I've only been in the mountain for half a day. Everything was going smoothly before those monsters pounced on me on my way back. I must get back. Fooling. She's still waiting for me.
He seems a bit off. Understatement.
Some of those injuries are older than half a day. He needs to go back to Hongjian for proper medical attention. Time's against us.
We'll need to escort him down the mountain.
Agreed. The appearance of tacit discords is indeed unusual. We can ask him later when he's recovered a bit more. On that note, we still don't know his identity. Judging from his uniform, he might be affiliated with the Pioneer Association.
Mention someone waiting for him.
Then perhaps that someone is in Hongjian. Could be his friend or an acquaintance. Good point,
Well,
Rover.
lethal.
Let's head back.
It's just like, holy shit, dude. Oh, stop yawning, man. Fucking AC, man. Whenever I put the AC on, the shit makes me yawn.
Isn't that Wu Li? What happened to him? Not really. He showed up in town and started asking weird questions to all the older folks. They've been avoiding him ever since.
The secret of immortality. I found it.
Oh, he really went up the mountain, didn't he? Oh my. Quick, get him to a doctor.
No.
Put him in a pocket.
I'm fine.
He's in a pocket.
Go find Fu Ling.
Sir, do you know where his companions might be?
I'm not sure. There are lots of other people in town who are dressed just like him. Why don't you try asking them?
Alright. Thanks for that, mate. Fucking useless.
His companions?
Sorry, I joined the association not long ago. I don't really know them.
His gear, though?
These are last year's designs. Perhaps you should go ask Yoning. She's been a member for quite some time. She might know him. Yoning's just up ahead.
Okay. Right, Yoning. I like her design.
Whoa! Greetings, Lady Chungli. How may I help you today, Lady Chungli? Oh, and hello, Rover. The person on your back. Is he okay?
We found him on Mount Firmament. Do you know where his companions might be?
Isn't this WuLi? What happened to him?
He was attacked. He's still unconscious.
He's one of the Pioneer Association's explorers, but we don't see him around Jinzhou too often. I remember he went on sabbatical months ago, and he left with Fu Ling. Yes, Fu Ling, his girlfriend. I think they're visiting Hongjian together.
Who went
Staying
to,
at the inn over
went to
there.
go fooling around?
Oh, Fu Ling asked us about his whereabouts not long ago. She seemed quite worried. Speaking of, is he really okay? Perhaps we should get him to a hospital first.
No, I'm not going. Fooling. She's waiting for me.
Don't worry.
Where is she waiting?
We'll
at?
help you find
She up in the
Fu Ling.
fucking cave. And wouldn't it be a good idea to tell us where she was waiting for you, bro? Instead of just being like... There she is.
WuLi?
And even like the NPCs are like cute, aren't they?
Breathe. Take it easy.
What's the matter with her?
Thank you. I'm okay now. Who are you? And WuLi, is he? Yes, I am.
She called me a he.
Can you please tell me what happened?
Fooling.
WuLi, you're hurt. I've been looking for you. You
She's
didn't
sick.
pick up my calls.
Great news, Fooling. I
Oh,
found
that's
it.
why he's looking for the
Finally.
immortality thing. Yeah, she.
I found a way to
Yeah.
slow
Oh.
down your illness. No more pain, my love. We can finally be together. Forever.
You mean that legend? It's real?
Fooling. Are you not happy?
No, I am. I'm so glad to hear it.
Yes.
WuLi!
Carrying an exhausted, unconscious WuLi to a doctor to treat his injuries.
Thank you, Rover, Lady Chungli. You saved his life.
Oh, there's more from yawning so much.
May I please ask, what on earth happened? I've never seen WuLi like that.
And then we found you.
So, he said he only spent half a day in the mountains.
Was that not the case?
No, I've been waiting for almost a week. It's not unusual for WuLi to be out of touch for a few days when he goes on long trips. This time, however, seemed longer than usual. If it weren't for you two showing up, I would have asked the Midnight Rangers to help me search for him in the mountains.
She left it weak though.
WuLi, he did it for me. I used to work as a landscape painter. WuLi and I met through work, and we traveled to many places together. A few months ago, I got really sick. It affected my ability to walk, which got worse over time. We couldn't go on our adventures like we used to. WuLi stopped taking on work and traveled all over the world to find a cure for me. Despite his efforts, we couldn't find any cures. Until 2 weeks ago,
It's gonna
when he
turn
brought
into a
me to
TD, hump him
Hongqian,
until he cries.
said he had a surprise for me.
You then give him, she'll be an STD. Har har.
I thought it was just going to be a relaxing trip, but he disappeared for 7 days. And now he's back rambling about having found a way to stop my condition from progressing.
You're saying something about the legend.
Mount Firmament's secret of immortality, I presume?
Yes. WuLi told me that he's researched and found an untouched paradise on Mount Firmament. A place where time stands still. He said if I lived there, my condition would never worsen. It cannot fully cure me, but at least we can spend eternity together. At first I thought it was just a myth, but then you brought up how he only spent half a day in the mountains.
We'll call that eternity though, yeah? Unless like, he was in there for a little bit and then the rest of the time he was just out of it, like, out the area where time stands still maybe? Might have run into temporal disruptions.
Those were my thoughts as well. But WuLi seemed very certain.
Well, that's what I was thinking before we even started this conversation. But I mean, we fixed a lot of those.
Mount Firmament used to have temporal disruptions caused by its tumultuous history. However, thanks to Magistrate Jinshi and Rover, these disruptions have been dealt with. Or so we had hoped.
Looks like there might still be some of them.
So there are still unaddressed temporal disruptions in the mountains. And unfortunately, WuLi has stumbled upon one, mistaking it for the legendary cure he was searching for. Little did he know it would only put him in more danger.
I see. So that's why there were rumors of rangers being here to take care of the leftover tacit discords and block off access to the mountain. Then, if this temporal disruption you speak of is truly so dangerous, Rover, Lady Chungli, please help us get rid of it. For the sake of everyone here.
I don't think he's going to be happy about that though, is he?
He truly thinks it's the only way to save you. He's willing to take a slim chance just for you.
Freezing my own time. I don't think I should do that. It's not my best option. I appreciate your concerns, but I'll be fine. Dreams always come to an end. Eventually, we have to wake up and keep moving forward. I'm okay. I haven't talked this much in a long time.
I don't know, that's like when my asthma has been bad in the past, like when I was younger. You know, talking. It's like, man, it can fuck you up. I gotta go get a doctor for you.
I'm just a little tired. I'll be fine after some rest. Once WuLi wakes up, I'll explain everything to him.
If you have any other ideas, just tell him. But if you keep it all to yourself, no one, even those closest to you, will know how you really feel.
I can't stop looking at her tits.
Yes, I understand.
Rover, things are taking a turn. We should probably tell Lady Xingyi first.
Alright. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. Dog and the cat swimming. Maybe a good idea for Actually, can they leave now? They can, can't they? Would be a good idea for them to go somewhere warm, since she's got a bit of a cough.
Onwards. Onwards.
Had a bad reaction to mushrooms and they screw with my breathing. I freaked out, so I can imagine how horrible it would be living with it every day. Yeah, dude, man, freaking. I mean, that's why I've got like when it comes to any fears, like it's probably like a fear of drowning, because like I know what it's like to be in that situation. I remember the worst was when I had an asthma attack the once, and I went into hospital and I had another asthma attack in hospital while I was waiting, and they kind of took a bit of time to come to me, and like that was fucking horrible, man. Like having an asthma attack in general is horrible, but I mean like that second one after having another one and then being in hospital as well.
This time of the day?
There's been a bit of an incident.
I see.
She needs to become a character, man.
Appearances of tacit discords in the mountains, and undiscovered temporal disruptions. There are several questionable details according to Rover's description.
What do you make of Fuling's words from earlier, Rover?
About what happened to WuLi?
He claimed to have spent only half a day in the mountains, but it's been 7 days since he returned to Hongzhen. That does sound like some kind of temporal disruption, one that wasn't strong enough to affect Hongzhen. After Jinxi's battle with the Sentinel, she ordered Midnight Rangers to patrol Hongzhen and inspect Mount Firmament for any lingering temporal disruptions before reopening it to the public. Rover, you've been exploring the mountains lately, so I'm sure you have a good grasp on Mount Firmament. But if there are any hidden disruptions we missed...
Must have appeared after WuLi entered the mountains. Someone had kept it hidden.
Precisely. Yet, why did it reappear at this point?
Why would they keep it hidden? Maybe it has something to do with WuLi. Maybe it needed a specific trigger.
Fuling's legend differs from the situation at Mount Firmament we're familiar with. In that tale, mortals were spared the cost of losing years from their lives. He was utterly convinced of his discovery, and he somehow managed to run into temporal disruptions in half a day's time. Also, when I questioned him, he evaded my inquiries.
Is he hiding something? As some sort of deal, potentially?
Lies that are most challenging to detect aren't usually outright falsehoods. Rather, they hide parts of the truth. The explorer wanted to save his friend, indeed, but he was also hiding something. I've become rather curious about the truth behind this temporal disruption.
About Fuling's attitude towards all of this.
Did you notice something, Rover?
She accepted the reality a little too quickly.
For someone with a terminal illness, they should hold on to any chance of survival, no matter how slim. Is that what you think? Maybe she's come to terms with her destiny. Or maybe she never planned on continuing to live like that forever.
Changli?
Stop herself.
Well, please pardon my baseless speculations.
About the anomalies in that area?
I knew you'd notice too. The frequency disturbance here is weak. It's similar to past temporal disruptions at Mount Firmament,
I is
but
smart.
not exactly the same. Master Xuanmiao's records show that this is where the game record last appeared. This is also where we found that explorer.
As Changli mentioned, this anomaly may indeed have something to do with that legendary game record.
Complete temporal program indicated in that game record. Was that... Well, we was thrown through a temporal, you know, disturbance, wasn't we ourselves?
If this were to be the case, then we are not the only ones searching for its whereabouts.
To come to where we are, like?
The explorer did not tell us about his source of information.
When we are.
But his knowledge of Mount Firmament far exceeds that of a first-time visitor.
You mean...
Something bigger is behind all of this.
Got it. The Midnight Rangers will block all entrances to the mountain for now. And Changli, you still have the power to send in garrison troops as needed.
We left Mount Firmament in a hurry. I need to go back up the mountain and investigate further. I have some theories that could use confirmation. We're still unsure about the exact location and range of the temporal disruption. Regardless, its reappearance is a pressing issue that needs our attention.
I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you.
It may get dangerous. Well then, thank you, Rover.
Thank you again for your help.
And
you were supposed to be here for a relaxing time. But it seems another crisis has popped up. Do take extra caution.
She'd be a cool healer, I think, to have in the squad. Really? Sneak past him. Return to the cave where you met Woody. Or is it below it? I think it's below, man. It's below. This game makes me so thirsty, I'm gonna need fucking gallons of Gatorade. Oopsie, we got it. Yeah, I already know that. Somebody give me the TDLR.
Now it has become quite clear what the two were thinking.
So it's what she had on her mind.
I had my speculation.
Tell me. I want to read.
Fu Ling has come to terms with her impending death. She doesn't buy into the legends of immortality. Instead, she simply wants to make the most of the time she has left and fulfill her and Wu Li's dreams together. If Wu Li wants to reach that so-called paradise, he'll be trapped inside forever. It also means he'll have to give up his entire future as an explorer. That is not what she wants for him. Her ultimate desire is for her lover to embrace her inevitable passing, and to realize the joint aspirations they hold in her place. She hasn't given up, but rather clings to hope for their future, even if she won't be there to see it unfold.
That's sad. Would you make the same choice if that happened to you?
Why the sudden question?
Seems you don't care that much about your own death.
Is that how you see me? Perhaps, for some, death is just a destination. There are more significant things to focus on. Let's stay focused on the issue. While the diary is cryptic, it still exposes the true intentions of whoever misled Wu Li. It's no coincidence. All the clues point to a correlation between the temporal disruption and the legends of the Weiqi game. Or maybe someone's trying to make us connect the dots.
Will's diary mentioned the Sentinel.
Yes. Information on the actual powers of Jue. This isn't the kind of information an ordinary explorer can obtain. I guess our old friends have still not given up. They went to great lengths just to lead us here. It would be rather rude of us to not respond in some way. According to the information in my master's notes and Wu Li's map, the place we're looking for should be just ahead.
This is pretty.
Is that?
The chaotic temporal disruptions are even clearer to see.
Go to the area where time flows in disorder. I remember us coming here before.
Traces of excavation on the ground. Looks like someone was trying to dig a hole with their bare hands. Could it be Wu Li?
This is a Weiqi board.
Could it have anything to do with the game record?
The abnormal time flow here is most likely caused by the chronosorters. Perhaps there's a way to fix it.
Marvelous play. Truly remarkable. Occupying both solid territory and influence, an extraordinary move.
Me?
Never had I imagined I'd experience such a great game of Weiqi on Mount Firmament. You may look young, my friend, but there's so much more to you than meets the eye. Please, no need to be so modest. I can tell the difference between our skill levels.
That's Rover doesn't answer, just stares at him. A mirage of the past.
This is my master's voice. The voice of the other person seems deliberately erased.
It looks like me.
Who do you think the other person looks like?
Person looks like me. Chang-Li seems to be in deep thoughts and does not answer. Just straight up freaking roll over here. No doubt.
It has been decades since last we met, but you, my friend, still look the same.
Are we immortal?
Well, turns out I had already met you all those years ago. My lifesaver. And you're older than me. I should have been more respectful back then. So you remember our promise. I am overjoyed. A new city is about to be established. Having accomplished so much, why do you choose to retire now?
The silent treatment.
I may have spoken out of turn. If you're not in a rush to depart Jinzhou, how about another round of Weiqi with me? Well played. Even after 20 years, I still have no chance of winning against you. I barely noticed how so much time has passed. Every move in Weiqi is fluid and unpredictable. Even if we start with the same opening, or the outcome can never be predetermined. We see this in our game, and it's true for all the lives out there. My clan are a group of hermits. We view the world as a game of strategy, manipulating the ebb and flow behind the scenes.
Oh, he's in the deep states.
But you, my friend, chose to enter the game yourself. It's a dangerous path with no
friends with Hillary Clinton, and he?
Oh, I want to help, but my time is running out. I won't be there when you finally succeed. Oh, please don't feel sad for me. If I die, it would be an honor to rest at the Sentinel's feet. When the time comes, the one who shall finish this game of Weiqi with you will not be me, but rather my apprentice. Or do my plans seem too risky to you?
I said my apprentice then, sound like a Sith.
With her intelligence and quick thinking, she'll surely be able to solve this puzzle. The results of this game will decide the fate of Jinzhou, and even the entire world. The road ahead is long and treacherous. Our final game. Let's make it.
Find a ghost. I'm gonna play channel 8. Oh, it's these wankers.
You've come this far and followed us here, yet you hesitate to reveal yourselves. Guess I'll have to take the lead and extend an invitation.
Don't assume you'll always be in control, Changli.
Enough talk.
Our friendly chat is over. It's time to say goodbye.
Time to die.
Still not giving up yet, Changli. We know more than that unfinished game. We are well aware of the price you have paid. You're dangling at the end of your rope. Your unwitting trail has led us straight to our target.
Oh, is that so?
Boom. Fuck out of here.
The Sonoro Sphere is open. Go!
Stop that.
Sorry, but you're not getting past me. Jue's formidable time-bending abilities at their peak, all trapped within this Sonoro Sphere, as I'm sure you are well aware.
It's only a legend.
Do you really want to chase after this legend when you don't even know if it's real?
So what? Wouldn't it be a sight to behold as this Sonoro Sphere consumes everything in its path, while the temporal disruptions bring death?
You're out of your mind.
Anyway, Rover, thank you for letting us into this Sonoro Sphere. You are indeed very special, as the Excellency foretold.
This bitch slapped him out the way. That was funny.
An unfamiliar space. No sign of the Fraxidus. Changli is also nowhere to be seen.
No! Don't come any closer!
Is that Changli as a kid? You got burned, let me help you.
I'm fine. It's my forte. I'm used to it. You stay away from me, or you'll get burned.
You won't burn me, I'm very tough.
This village was attacked by tacit discords. There's nothing left. Why did you come here? No one but the exiles are willing to stay here now.
Shouldn't be here.
Are you a bad person?
I'm not. I'm looking for someone.
That's what all bad people say.
True.
Whatever you're looking for. There's nobody here but me and the tacit discords. When I'm here, no one's afraid of me, and I won't hurt anyone. Anyway, you should hurry up and leave. It's not safe for you to be here.
Where does she think here is? She doesn't seem lost in the Sonoro Sphere.
Mirages in a Sonoro Sphere shouldn't be able to hold a conversation like this. Are these phantoms pulled from Chungli's memory? Generated by the retroact effect?
Huh?
Whatever the case, I can't leave her here alone.
Why did you stop talking? Are you lost?
Kind of lost.
I can take you somewhere safe. I know a shortcut that leads to a safer village.
Now you need Verena. Reach out to her.
Thank you. Onwards.
What we got here then?
Was there something like this here before?
These mechanisms. They need to be unlocked from both sides at once.
Okay, let's each handle one side.
How are you gonna
I'll
do
go
it?
over there.
Sweet. Good kid. How do you get off that one through?
It's open.
Oh, nice.
We'll be safe once we get out of here. This place seems a bit different from what I remember.
Lend me your strength. Watch and learn. My field of expertise. My blade yours.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so freaking tired today. Genuinely, in some of these cutscenes, man, I'm feeling
These
myself
are
like
the villagers.
not because the game's making me go to sleep. I'm just shattered.
Tacit discords.
They've already.
Why? There weren't any of them here before. Don't worry. My forte is strong. I will get rid of them and protect you.
Okay, what's the deal with that? What's your chest then?
Make it fast.
Tripping. I thought I saw a chest. Right, so I've got to do something. Oh, I need to burn that away. That's one there, isn't it? After you're done, I'm gonna go have a lie down myself. Gonna have a cup of noodles to seal the deal. Ow! Yeah, I'm fucking knackered.
Tacit discords! Watch out!
Get fucked, bitch.
Sever!
Make it fast. Who's the caged bird now?
Together we fight!
I'll pay it back tenfold. I've had enough. Get lost.
Crush them!
You won't cast me down.
Strike as one!
Perish in flames.
Take full. Make it fast.
Crosscut. Sever!
Lime chili with shrimp. Ooh.
Why did you...
Leave the fighting to me. You're injured.
Okay. Don't worry. I won't hold you back.
they frozen villagers?
The village I lived in got destroyed by those scary monsters. They hid me in a safe basement, while everyone else died or ran away. No one except me made it out alive. When I came out, no one was there anymore. Now, I must get to somewhere safe.
It kind of reminds me kind of a little bit of From. Like the lad in that almost. Let's go find somewhere safe together.
Okay.
Glad you found them useful.
There's a piece of paper. It has turned yellow.
When the village was raided, I failed to protect anyone with all my efforts. Now all I'm left with these
Oh. If I had arrived sooner.
Injured and old people, was he? All I'm left with are these old injuries and the rest of my meager life and some food to spare for anyone who passes by. Okay. I was too slow. It's not your fault.
Okay.
Let's go, kid. This environment's gorgeous. This game is gorgeous, man.
Whoa.
Did you find something?
I found some dry rations. They look well kept. Should be still edible. Oh, it's a bit frozen. No worries. I can use my fire to heat it up. Are you hungry?
Yeah, it's Changli as a kid, that is.
I haven't seen you take a single bite. You can have these.
What about you?
I'm not hungry yet.
Why?
Oh, look, shinies.
Got something to put on it? Or are you going to stand on it for me?
Make it fast.
I'll leave it. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's go. 2 Changlis. This looks like a boss area.
More tacit discords. I'll handle them.
Okay.
My field of expertise. Now you'll... Time to wrap it up. Together we will beckon the divine flame. My
General animation is pretty fucking dope, though.
perish in flames. Take form.
Fuck out of here.
Is this the key to that door?
Yes. And those tacit discords just devoured the frequencies of the guard on door duty.
Oh look, it's a what is it? A Wei Chi board. What's not to say?
How do you like these?
Its environmental design's top notch.
It might look kind of scary, but actually, it doesn't hurt at all.
You stop whining like a bitch then?
Of course. I'm a resonator too, you know. My forte is a powerful one. I control fire. Nothing's brighter and warmer than fire. It can burn away the cold and drive away monsters.
The fire could burn yourself too.
That's because I don't know how to properly control it yet. The resonator who taught me about my forte said if I don't use it properly, I'll die young. They also said a lot of things I couldn't understand. Told me I shouldn't use it too often. But if I don't use my forte, I'd get eaten by the tacit discords or killed by the bad people. What's the point of living a longer life if I can't even survive? I want to live. I want to become a strong grown-up.
We getting the idea
I
of
want to
why
have
she
good control of my power and protect the people who protected me in the past. And then I'll make a peaceful and prosperous world for everyone.
getting to understand why she can understand where Fulin's coming from then, I guess. In terms, it's not she doesn't care about her own life, but you know, she doesn't want to waste it on hiding away. It's a respectable goal.
Yes.
At that angle, no one's looking at the ceiling,
According
Chief.
to the village teacher, that means children will no longer be in danger from monsters. We'll all have enough to eat and stable lives. But I've still got lots to learn. So, I'll need to find someone really strong and learn from them.
You'll find a great mentor. And you'll become very strong yourself.
Thank you. I want to become as strong as you are.
Sure, but promise me. You always wear... I'm not gonna say. Promise me you'll be take good care of yourself, okay?
I understand. I'll do my best. What is
Look after your back as well. You're gonna need it when you're older.
It's supposed to look familiar, but there are so many things I've never seen before. This door. I don't know why, but I keep getting the feeling that I've been here before. It's so weird. Let's look around. Maybe we'll find something.
Shit. I don't want to leave the domain, but I also need to get off in a minute, man. Gotta get Rosie from work in a minute. What did that do? Changli is an adult.
This is...
A mirage of the past.
Oh, okay.
This place. It looks familiar too. These are my memories, recreated inside this sonorosphere. As I stepped inside, both Rover and the Fraxidus vanished into thin air. frequencies are constantly changing. The flow of time is chaotic, just like it had been on Mount Firmament. A sonarosphere affected by temporal disruption. Once someone enters, there's risk of being stuck inside forever. And if my master had planned all of this, did he do this to mislead? To separate? Or perhaps...
What an angle.
I should be careful. Whatever the case, I must find Rover first.
Dude, can I not like... Oh, shit.
I'm starving. Oh, this thing. Oh. If I burn it a bit with my fire, I can eat it, I guess?
She's her own oven. Dude, the colour palette in here is gorgeous as well, man. This is beautiful, this is. Level design's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
I didn't...
Don't try to play me, you little thief.
I found these all by myself.
Ha! You think I'm buying this story? How the hell does a little homeless brat like you score all this food? This is our turf. Better scurry off if you know what's good for you.
Why don't we let her stay? See, she's a...
We've got plenty of mouths to feed already. Unless you're planning to have her eat from your plate.
Make it fast.
I was gonna go down a dark turn then.
I can do it.
Yes. Back then, I didn't know how to control my flames. I could only brute force my way out of it. And my body was always covered in burns.
I don't know how I was trying to do it though.
Take 4. No mercy. My field of expertise. I can't keep going. Together we vanish. Sever.
Who's the caged bird now?
I do really like her old animation, it's pretty cool.
Triumph through sacrifice.
Take 4.
Together we fight. Strike fast. Evil be cleansed.
He's already dead. What was that for then over there? Is there something that we can break around here? Dude, this is beautiful, this is, man. Can't wait till we get to explore different parts of this game, man. I'm looking forward to it. What a view.
Ma'am, are you okay? Oh, there's been a lot more tacit discords lately.
I'm fine. Thank you for driving those monsters away. But, honey, these cuts and bruises all over you, some new and some old, they never seem to fully heal.
I'm a resonator. These wounds are nothing.
Oh, honey. You shouldn't be trapped in this place like we are for the rest of your life.
Is that why the...
You should go to the city. With a powerful forte like yours, you'll surely find a wonderful future for yourself there.
What does she mean, trapped?
But
Is that why the
you,
time dilation thing didn't
what
affect
about
her then?
you and the others?
You go out there and make something of yourself. Make us proud. And when you're ready, come back for us. What do you say, dear? And these. Take these with you on your way there.
Okay.
The lands of Jinzhou are filled with riches.
This place. This is where Master once lived in seclusion. The spaces are a jumbled mess inside this Sonarosphere.
I'm confused.
Please, wait!
My dear, you've come all this way. What do you need from me?
You gave me some food before. I haven't thanked you yet.
You misunderstood my intentions. When I sought shelter in your hideout during the rain, I gave you rations as a small token of thanks. No need to be troubled by it, little one.
But you told me the path to safety lies in embracing fortuitous moments. I didn't understand what you meant by that.
Well now, I only said those words on a mere whim. Never expected you to remember them so clearly.
I've heard Master Xuanmiao is a wise hermit guru who helps people. Can you maybe take me as your apprentice? I've been searching for you for so long. Please, will you consider it? I want to live. Learn to control my power and become stronger. Or I won't see a peaceful and prosperous world.
Do you know what defines a peaceful and prosperous world?
I think...
Big titty waivus.
I think it means people can take care of themselves and have a place to call home. I'm a resonator too. I have a strong forte. Look!
Is this flame manipulation? Such a fearful power. If not used wisely, it may engulf you in return. Without proper guidance, you will eventually be reduced to ashes. Alas, perhaps this is fate. I can teach you how to control your power, but in this world of ups and downs, relying solely on brute force will not get you far. If you long for a peaceful and prosperous world, you must utilize your own intellect to choose, strategize, and shape the future you desire.
I can only walk forward, I can't control it another way.
You bear the powers of flame manipulation.
What's going on, Anastasia? I'm good, thank you. How are you?
One that shall bring peace to this world. From this day on, your name will be Chun-Li.
Darth Vader. I just spat on the mic. Oh, bad.
Do you have to go, Master?
My time
yes, I do, yeah.
in this world is up, my child. I have my own destination to head to. I can only accompany you so far on this journey.
Are you going to a dangerous place alone? Why can't I go with you?
Oh, it's not your turn to go there yet, Chun-Li. You are a very gifted child.
Nah, you're right, I'm not interested, sorry.
You will surely achieve greatness one day. But the price you pay for forcefully employing your forte can never be erased. Oh, your lifespan is doomed to be much shorter than that of ordinary people.
Oh, shit.
Yes, I understand.
Will she rise from the ashes, though, you know?
Remember what I have taught you. Ponder carefully, plan meticulously, and shield yourself wisely. For when you have grown into the person you aspire to become, your impact on this world shall be great.
Chun-Li will remember your teachings by heart, Master. But Master, this person you want me to find, how should I find them?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
When the time comes, you will know, and you will have my aid. You need only use your wisdom to offer that.
This is like the confirmation for Chun-Li then that it's role that she's looking for, yeah.
Guidance.
Even though she kind of knows it.
She is the only one who can truly change this world. You must find and help her.
Dude, this voice acting's good on this dude, man.
This way, the world of prosperity you seek will soon be within reach.
I believe I've found that person, Master. This Weiqi board and the Sonorosphere, they are both a puzzle and an answer. The end of the Sonorosphere. Turns out it's exactly where she is. I guess this is another riddle from my master.
What's going on? What bit? I'm liking this so far though, chat. I'm loving the environmental design in these areas as well, man. It's gorgeous. This is what I was talking about. You know how this is now? I know we're in a quest, but we need this sort of shit as like raids. Like, there's combat, there's some mechanics, there's a bit of light puzzling, a bit of light platforming. You do something like this, you do like a sub-boss with some elites, and then you go on and fight some more basic mobs, and then through to a next little stage, do that, another elite, maybe 2 elites, and then you go on towards the end, and then the end boss is like a hologram level kind of fight. And obviously depending on what level of difficulty you've entered the raid at, you know, there's a different difficulty boss at the end of it. I think that'll be fire, I do. A feather. Did you see us? That's kind of cool. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I think I'm remembering something. But it's all just a blur. I can't make out any clear images. I've been looking for something for a long time.
What are you looking for?
I don't know. I just remember that it's very, very important. Something that can change the world. But I'm starting to wonder why I'm even here. Everything looks so different from what I remember. And why do you look so familiar? We've never met before.
Maybe we've met in the future.
Huh?
Is this a missing part of the device?
We might be able to open that door with it. What will we find behind that door?
Tonight, Matthew, I'm gonna be... Maybe it's what you're looking for.
Yeah. I hope so. Onwards. Would these be enough for your needs? Tell me if there's anything else you want.
A scheme might be grander than not to vanquish malevolence in its nascent guise.
Master?
Chung-Li, you have done well.
Are these dudes a Jedi?
The answers you seek. It is time to begin your journey. From this moment on, the choices you make and the plans you lay out, they will all lead to that future.
Yeah, that's cool.
Chung-Li.
Sorry I kept you waiting.
This place! Run! It's a trap! They played us!
Yeah, that's sick. That was a fucking badass cutscene, that was.
From defense to offense.
Moment of awakening. Oh, stars, heed my calling. So be it. Lend me your strength.
Zap strength. It's our curtain call. Be watch and learn. Together we vanish.
Mind's eye.
Oh, dude, I keep getting fucking hit.
Who's the caged bird now?
Strike is one. Evil be cleansed.
Special beam cannon!
Tear them to pieces. My field of expertise.
Lend me your strength. Thunder guide us.
What? Why do you sound reset? Is that a different one? Oh shit, I couldn't go with Marino.
Moment of awakening.
Tear them to pieces. Time to wrap it up.
I didn't know I was going to follow up like that.
Your time is over. My field of expertise.
Oh my god, dude. Bro, I come into this fight with such low health, man. At least I got full health the same.
Onward. Fluorescent shadows. Strike fast. Take flight. Sacred light.
Tear them to pieces. Simple. You're not getting away. Together we vanish.
Mind's eye. Be reduced to cinders.
Together we fight. Fast in starlight.
Tear them to pieces. No mercy. Zap strength. It's our curtain call. Nothing.
This guy's a bitch. Oh my god, dude, I got caught again.
Crush them! My field of expertise.
Feathers incinerate.
Clear as the tape's full. You will cast me down. Make it fast.
Beckon the
Dude, this is a
divine
bitch!
flame.
Together we fight. Heaven ordains. Banish all vice.
Dude, holograms of those fuckers are gonna be... Okay, that was pretty cool. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit, bro.
Don't worry. This game is almost over.
Well, that means she's going to shorten her life. Madma?
Can you feel it?
Oh, that's when she gets.
It's warm.
Feeling her arm, didn't she?
Doesn't hurt at all. See?
That was fucking cool. That was pretty fucking cool, that was.
It's so beautiful. Wuli, this is the miracle we've been waiting to see. It's hope, reborn after destruction.
Fooling.
It's over.
Did you find what you were looking for? Thank you for your help. The Midnight Rangers have successfully apprehended all remaining Fraxidus members in the mountains, and the effects
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
enjoying it
temporal
as well.
disruption have
Such
now
a beautiful
vanished.
story. Damn those devs.
I lost all
What's something in my
contact
eye?
with you during this whole time. Did you run into any trouble? Temporal disruption hidden inside a sonorosphere. It makes sense now why it stayed hidden for so long. I never thought the solution would be to burn down the entire sonorosphere from the inside. You went too far back there, Changli.
A major condition.
I know my limits.
Rover. Lady Changli.
How you feeling?
Wuli is fine now, thanks to his doctor's help. As for me, well, at least I can still walk a bit. After all, it's been almost 5 days.
So it's already been 5 days.
I never properly thanked you for bringing me back to Hongzhen. I heard about the attack by the Fraxidus in the
It's not so bad in the story, Neil. It's actually kind of fun in the story. It's just the freaking echo
No need
fights
for
and
that.
everything.
I understand. The
Not
Fraxidus
hard,
had
it's
their
just
eyes on the
frustrating in
same
the
thing
echo
we did.
fights.
They've been planning an ambush on us for a long time.
We should have said the boss
Why
fights.
would we blame it on you?
You weeklies.
We will never forget how you saved us. You gave us the opportunity to witness such a breathtaking sight. Thanks to your help, this journey holds no regrets for me.
As for the truth behind the so-called secret of immortality, Fooling has told me everything. I had a gut feeling it would turn out to be a disappointment, but I couldn't give up. And in the end, I lost sight of why I even started this journey. But this isn't the first time this has happened. Let's just call it another adventure coming to an end. I've talked about it with Fu Ling. From now on, I'll take her on more trips to see more new places together.
Until the day when I can no longer hold a pen. I've already talked to the folks at the publishing house, and they're happy to let me continue painting for them. My eventual departure may be unavoidable, but I want to give it my all until the very end.
I know you have already looked past death, but remember, there are people who care about you. They want you to live on and be happy.
Yes, I understand. Sometimes I wish we could stay together a little longer, if only for a while.
Of course, Fu Ling. We've always been...
It's not time to be sad yet, is it? I've compiled a list of renowned doctors in Huanglong. They're highly skilled and may offer assistance for your medical condition, which is challenging but not impossible to cure.
Lady Changli, I truly can't thank you enough.
No need for thanks. If you're feeling generous and want to repay me, I hope to see Fu Ling's work in the next issue of Artists of Huanglong. Everyone's been missing seeing their favorite landscape artists work lately.
Didn't know you're a magazine reader.
Are you surprised? Well, now I'm curious. What kind of a person do you see me as?
A pegger.
Now that the situation has been resolved, you should return to Hongzhen. You deserve some good rest. After going through so much, you must be exhausted, Rover.
About you?
Me?
Need a shave?
Well, I think Lady Xing-Yi could use the extra help in dealing with the aftermath.
You sure you'll be alright?
Well, it wouldn't hurt to have a little more faith in me.
It's getting late. Maybe we should wait until we get back to discuss anything else.
Let's get naked, Changlu. Let's get naked. That was a good companion quest, man. Epic cutscene and end. Pretty freaking epic. Got enough to weapon pull! Gamba! Trash! Fuck. Yeah, I enjoyed that. It was good. The ending cutscene as well was pretty freaking sick. I'm liking Changli even more now, man. That was like it was almost like a Jedi Master kind of quest, man. That was sick. I enjoyed it. I am gonna have to get off though now, guys. It's 4:45. I've got to get Rosie from work in a little bit. Thank you to everybody hanging out today. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. I'm gonna try and get back on later, but fucking Rosie's going to the gym a little bit later, and my sister can't take her, so I've got to drop her off, and I might have to pick her up. So if I have to pick her up, maybe there won't be a second stream, but if I don't have to pick her up, we might squeeze out a second stream as well and get on for an hour or two. But yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody coming through today, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. I've enjoyed it. We're going to be doing more Wuthering Waves and Zenless, continuing on with everything. We need to get through the story on Zenless as well now. We're going to do these quests, do our dailies, and then we're going to concentrate on getting through the story on Zenless Zone Zero as well, because I'm kind of I'm dropping behind on that. And we're probably going to play some different games as well this week. We're probably going to check out Honkai Impact 3rd, maybe a bit of PGR, some solo level and Rise, and I think we might check out Terra Fantasy and maybe play a little bit of New World as well. It's been a while, and I've got the DLC as well now, the Angry Earth, because if you get that, you get access to the new version of the game that comes out in October, so might as well play a little bit of that as well. Gremlin, no worries. Thank you very much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. Shout out to you, Neo, as well, and everybody else who's been watching, guys. Remember, if you're watching over on YouTube, go drop a like on the stream. It's very much appreciated. And there's a new video on my channel today. Go check it out. And thank you to everybody who's been supporting the videos recently. They have been doing very well. So thank you to everybody who's been watching them and dropping a like and all that good stuff. It means a lot. And I'll catch you all later, alright? See you later. Ta-ra.